second only to Oklahoma's 45-game winning streak since World War I, and the 5th longest winning streak ever. The captains for the Hurricanes for the football game this evening, they have 4. Greg Mark, number 94, Russell Maryland, number 67, Bobby Garcia, number 50, and Andre Brown, number 83. Mark and Maryland stalwarts on the defensive line. Bobby Garcia moving from his offensive guard position into center. And Andre Brown, who hopes to break a couple of long pass receptions in the football game this evening. Well, Jim Mandich, that is one thing we'll look for from the Hurricanes as they try to get their long game going. We'll also look for a fine defensive effort from the University of Missouri and some very fancy offensive maneuvers by the Tigers.
Absolutely. On offense, I would expect Miami is going to break some big plays. You're familiar with the steel curtain defense in the middle 70s. Well, that was engineered by Tiger head coach Woody Widenhofer. They play a very much gambling, risk-taking defense. They can make you look awfully bad for several plays in a row, but there is an opportunity for a big play. I think Miami will continue the trend of a week ago, Frank, when they emphasized throwing to the wideouts. Randall Hill should have a big game. Andre Brown, Dale Dawkins as well. And Rob Chudzinski, the tight end, is back. He was out last week with a pulled groin injury. He should be a big factor in today's ball game as well.
Edgar Bennis is set to kick off as the Tigers of Missouri will handle the football game first. The University of Miami, a rather prohibitive favorite in this football game this evening. But I'll tell you something, so were they over Wisconsin last week, and they're going to have to play better this week than they did against Wisconsin. Back to receive for the University of Missouri, Paul Bland and Craig Lammers. Kick is in the air, and it goes through the end zone. A prevailing wind and a very stiff breeze blowing from the open end of this football field at the Orange Bowl, and that is the east end. The wind coming off of the ocean or the bay, and certainly strong enough, I would say, Jim Mandich, to be a factor in this football game as the Tigers of Missouri will put the ball in play on their own 20.
I think weather is going to be a big factor. We are going to have rain today. That'll favor the team that can run the football better.
John Stollenwerk at quarterback, a junior from Dallas, Texas. He's 6 feet, 200 pounds. Working from the wishbone on the first play from scrimmage. He is back to pass, still has the football, throws it downfield incomplete, and that was intended for number 7, Craig Lammers, his split end. At quarterback, John Stollenwerk. The left halfback is Michael Jones. The fullback, Tommy Stowers. Watch number 32, Smiley Elmore. Split end, Craig Lammers, and the tight end, Tim Bruton. At left tackle, Rick Trumbull. At left guard, Carl Bax. Center, Curtis Wilson. On the right side of the offensive line, you saw David Washington and Jay Greenwood, the starters. This time it is number 31, Tommy Stowers, the fullback, carrying for not much straight up the middle. We'll call a number 22 for you. That is Randy Shannon as one of the tacklers, and Bill Hawkins. Willis Pegues, Russell Maryland, Greg Mark, and Bill Hawkins on the line. The linebackers, Randy Shannon, Bernard Clark, and Rod Carter, with Donald Ellis, Bobby Harden, Bubba McDowell, and Kenny Berry in the defensive secondary. Second down and 8 at the 22. Just underway. Stollenwerk back to pass again. The southpaw throws it downfield. He has Lammers. It is trapped incomplete. That is incomplete. He took it off the grass. Craig Lammers, a senior from Jefferson City, Missouri, the intended receiver. And that will bring on the punting situation. And in to do the kicking, Jimmy Mikowski for the Tigers of Missouri. Back in a single safety, Darrell Spencer for the Miami Hurricanes. This is another phase of the game, Jim Mandich, that Jimmy Johnson would like to see improved upon.
They have not got a lot out of the kicking game. They can change that all right now.
Bad snap and a bad kick. Spencer takes it at his own 48, and he'll try to get across the 50 and just does, maybe a foot into Missouri territory. Darrell Spencer taking a rather weak kick, and that kick into the wind, that wind definitely a factor in the football game. Spencer not too happy with himself, and you see Jimmy Johnson meet him as he comes off the field saying something to him about that kick reception.
I'm sure he told him to start running north-south and not east-west.
Well, that's the way the field goes north-south. On the first play from scrimmage, Walsh to pass, and it is complete out to the right side to Leonard Conley. Leonard Conley, number 28, taking the pass for a short yardage, a gain of perhaps 3. R.J. Miller, the left side linebacker, in to make the tackle. A gain of 3, call it 2nd down and 7. Conley, much in the press this week for having fumbled the ball on a hard hit last week against Wisconsin. This time the handoff is to Conley, and the little back gets not much. Darryl Darling, a 282-pound defensive left tackle, is there to meet him, and Conley giving away better than 100 pounds in that exchange. Walsh has Conley and Cleveland Gary in the backfield. Dale Hawkins and Randall Hill are the wideouts, and Rob Chudzinski starting at tight end. Darren Bruce and Mike Sullivan on the left side, Bobby Garcia at center, Barry Panfil and John O'Neill on the right side of the offensive line. They split out, sending Dawkins wide to the left side. Darrell Brown also in on a wing. Back to pass, Walsh, plenty of time, throws over the middle. He has Cleveland Gary. Gary just dragging tacklers, goes inside the 25. Cleveland Gary finally stopped by Adrian Jones out of Hollywood Hills High School right here in Hollywood, Florida. But big yardage gain there by Cleveland Gary. And Jim Mandich, Cleveland Gary does it all. We'll look at the Tigers defense with Lee Johnson, Meredith Jones, Darryl Darling, and Steve Vandergrift, the set men up front. The linebackers, Mike Logan and Darren McDonald with A.J. Miller. And in the defensive secondary, Pat Ray, Sharon Washington, Harry Colon, and Adrian Jones. 1st and 10 inside the 25. The ball at the 23-yard line. Walsh looking to the end zone, throwing incomplete, intended for Cleveland Gary. Gary had double coverage that time. And I would imagine, Jim Mandich, we'll see more of that until the wide receivers come into play more for the Hurricane. You'll see double coverage on Gary.
Absolutely. He's been the big play man for him on offense. He's the leading rusher and the leading receiver. On that play, Frank, they tried to attack Adrian Jones, who's the best athlete on the Missouri squad. I'd suggest that they go elsewhere later on in the ball game.
Adrian Jones, we told you, an area man from Hollywood Hills High School right here in Hollywood, Florida. Walsh this time fakes to, or gives to Cleveland Gary. Gary trying to go wide, and he is run down and put down by Lee Johnson, coming in from his defensive right end position. Lee Johnson, 273-pounder from Florissant, Missouri. Moved well for a big man, Jimmy.
Well, this play really never develops, and again, Cleveland Gary not going north-south, and he tries to bounce it outside. He doesn't have that quickness, and we see a great play by Lee Johnson. All the defensive linemen for the Tigers can run, many of them converted linebackers. 3rd and
16, the ball at the 29-yard line. As Walsh tries to put it in the end zone, he has 3 receivers out to the right side. Dropping back, looking left now, and looking for his lone receiver on the left side. Chudzinski, touchdown Miami. Rob Chudzinski. Hey, how about that? Steve Walsh, he sent 3 receivers wide right, looked all the way for Chudzinski, and even though covered by Pat Ray, the cornerback, Chudzinski pulls it in for the touchdown. And we'll look at it again, Jim Mandich.
Teams continue to make this mistake. They let Chudzinski run off the ball without a jam. They're going to him all the way. Walsh has got the one-on-one against the freshman, Sharon Washington. Chudzinski goes over the top. He's got great hands. They can't continue to cover him one-on-one because Walsh is going to exploit that every time.
So the Hurricanes break on top. 11:32 left to go in the first quarter. And Carlos Huerta, who had 3 field goals against Wisconsin, puts it through the uprights, and it is 7-0. So there's a timeout on the field with the Hurricanes scoring early in the football game. We'll be right back on Sports Channel Florida, 7-0 Miami. This was the scene last January when the Miami Hurricanes became the nation's #1 college football team. This year, Sports Channel Florida follows the Canes and their quest to repeat as national champions. During the year, Sports Channel also brings you coverage of Canes basketball, baseball, tennis, and track and field. Remember, nobody brings you more University of Miami events than Sports Channel Florida. Standard equipment for the Florida sports fan. It's just what Florida's been waiting for. The NBA has arrived, and Sports Channel Florida has teamed up with the Miami Heat for the excitement of 41 games you can't see anywhere else. Follow the Heat on Sports Channel as they take on the NBA's brightest stars like Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson. Don't get left out in the cold. It's Miami Heat basketball coming this fall on Sports Channel Florida. Standard equipment for the Florida sports fan. Leading 7-0. That was the 12th reception this year for Rob Chudzinski, who missed the Wisconsin game last week with a groin pull. So in 3 football games, he now has 12 receptions. And Venice will kick off again for the Hurricanes. High kick with the wind behind it. Maybe a run back, maybe not. No, sir. They will down that ball back there in the end zone. Skip Leach downing the football in the end zone, and again the Tigers will put it in play on their own 20-yard line. Jim Mandich, tight end, the unsung hero, I think, one of the most unsung players on a football team. And we'll look at the scoring drive. Took 7 plays, 51 yards, 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and culminated on third down play. Walsh 29 yards to Chudzinski. We'll get back to Chudzinski and the tight end situation directly. Right now, John Stollenwerk will try to get something started, working off the wishbone. They keep the ball on the ground and really do not get anywhere, maybe a yard. Russell Maryland in to make the tackle on Jim White. Rod Carter also in on the play, and we'll look at it one more time.
We can see the wishbone. It's the dive play, the first play in that series. Tommy Stowers is an interesting story. He hasn't been stopped for a loss this year, and for a career of over 1,000 yards, he's only lost 5 yards.
That was Stowers and not Jim White. You're correct. Big kid, 216 pounds is Stowers. Now back to pass. Stollenwerk looking left, throwing way over the head, and that was intended for his tight end, Tim Rutan. Stollenwerk a little slow getting up, but he seems to be okay. Stollenwerk can take a beating. He's a big kid, 6'0", 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, from Dallas, and now he's coming out of the football game and evidently injured the left arm. That is the throwing arm. In to replace him, Brad Fitzmaurice, a freshman from Jefferson City, Missouri. Fitzmaurice, 6 feet tall, 182 pounds. They can ill afford to lose Stollenwerk for any length of time. Now let's see what Fitzmaurice can do. He's working out of the wishbone. One man in motion. He's going to pass. Right-hand thrower, hit from behind, fumbles, loose football. Who's got it? It looks like the Tigers may have gotten it back. Bill Hawkins was in there. He shook the ball loose and was fighting for it. Bill Hawkins, defensive end from Hollywood, Florida, South Broward High School. We'll look at it again. It is not a fumble. It was ruled he was down before the ball popped loose.
Sprint pass. He's got to protect that backside. There comes Hawkins, all 6'6", 260 pounds of him. Looked like Shane Curry was going to come up with that ball. I'm sure he'd like to have that one back.
Jimmy Mikulski to kick for the Tigers. Gets a good kick away into the wind, driving Spencer back. Now Spencer comes to the near side, tries to turn the corner, across the 45, across the 50. Gets a block, still on his feet at the 42-yard line before he is driven out of bounds by the Tigers at the Missouri 41. So that time, Darrell Spencer making a good run back and being roundly congratulated by his teammates.
Good run back, but look at this crackback block that makes the run back. Here comes number 26, Herbert James, wiping out the Missouri Tiger. And then they're able to get good yardage and, again, good field position inside the 50-yard line.
Ronnie Cameron coming in again to spring him loose on a good block the second time. Walsh gives the ball to Leonard Conley, tries the right side, trying to find running room, knocked down at the 35-yard line. Leonard Conley brought down by A.J. Miller, the left side linebacker from San Antonio, Texas.
Conley's been a little bit of a disappointment this year. He had a tremendous season last year, and they expect big things out of him. And I know one of the things Miami would like to accomplish today is to be able to rush the football better.
Randall Hill splits wide out to the left side. Darryl Dawkins also out to the left side. And there you see Walsh checking off at the line of scrimmage, replacing his men, gives this time to Cleveland Gary. Gary across the 30, inside the 25, brought down at the 22-yard line. Cleveland Gary is finally tackled by Otis Smith. Coming in from his defensive backfield spot, Jimmy Johnson pacing the sidelines a bit. The head coach of the Hurricanes with a career record of 74 wins, 33 losses, and 2 ties. So the ball at the 22-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Canes, who lead 7-0. This time, Walsh sends Dawkins wide right, and Hill splits wide left. The little motion in there, and a flag is thrown, and I think the Canes will be flagged for illegal procedure. It looked like Cleveland Gary may have started just a count too soon, or maybe somebody in the line anyway. It's a penalty against the Canes. Let's see what we can pick up.
Well, it's on the Miami offensive line, and I'm sure one of the things that concerns Jimmy Johnson is 10 penalties a week ago and 6 turnovers. They want to eliminate the mistakes from their offense. That's got to be of concern to him.
So they're flagged for 5. It'll be 1st and 15 with the ball moved back to the 27-yard line. Again, Hill left, Dawkins right. With Gary and Conley the setbacks, he throws looking for Hill and has Hill inside the 20. Down he goes at the 18-yard line. Pat Ray coming in from the right cornerback spot to make the tackle. Randall Hill from Killian High right here in Miami. Jim?
Just a quick O-cut. He's out about 6 or 7 yards. It's as good as an end sweep. They'll go to work on Pat Ray, the cornerback. He'll start reacting up, and they'll run the down, out, and up later on in the ball game.
Give him 9 yards on the play. Make it 2nd down and 6 to go at the 18-yard line. Now Walsh back to pass, looking right, throwing down the middle, and Tudzinski cannot hold on to it. There again, he may have run the wrong pattern. You think that. You tend to blame the receiver for running the wrong pattern, but Jim Mandich, sometimes a quarterback will call a play, and still he himself will throw the wrong pattern.
Well, I think this is a tight end option here. He reads the coverage. He can take it to the middle, or he can cut outside if he recognizes zone. Almost a great catch by Tudzinski there.
It's 3rd and 6. The ball at the 18-yard line. Miami leading 7-0.
Second out.
They're checking off. The blitz is on, and the ball is loose. Missouri has it. Falling on the football is Sharon Washington. Sharon Washington, the free safety or weak side safety, falls on the football, and the Tigers get it back at the 25-yard line, and there's one of those turnovers, Jim.
You point out exactly right. Another turnover. He never got the snap from center, and of course Bobby Garcia has moved over. Rod Holder, the regular center, not in there. You oftentimes see that. But on this drive with excellent field position, they get a penalty and then the turnover. That's got to kill Jimmy Johnson.
So Missouri puts the ball in play at their own 25-yard line. Fitzmaurice in at quarterback. They keep the ball on the ground, try to drive it up the middle, and drive it nowhere at all as they run into a brick wall. There's Maryland along with the middle linebacker Clark. Clark and Russell Maryland. Maryland at 272 pounds can knock some heads out there. He's from Chicago's Whitney Young High School. Good football power up there in the Windy City. The Stowers being knocked down for a gain of 1 yard, they say. Make it 2nd and 9. And we'll see what Fitzmaurice has in mind here. He's dropping straight back to pass. Pressure is on from the left side. Football is loose and goes out of bounds. And there again, Bill Hawkins came in to put the pressure on him, hit him from behind, and knocked the ball loose as it was batted out of bounds. They will spot. There's Woody Woodenhopper. And you mentioned Jim Mandich a while ago. Record of 10 and 25 as head coach at Missouri with 1 tie, that coming last week against Indiana. But the architect of the Pittsburgh Steelers steel curtain defense.
Brilliant defensive coach. No question about it.
3rd and 9. Ball at at the 25, straight back is Fitzmaurice. Again, the pressure is on. He throws incomplete. And again, it was Bill Hawkins, 6'6", 260-pound senior right tackle, putting the pressure on the quarterback Fitzmaurice, forcing the punting situation. And on to kick Jimmy Mikowski.
Well, you can see why Bill Hawkins is going to be a #1 draft choice in the pros next spring. He's eating Jay Greenwood's lunch on each and every play.
Spencer back in single safety for the Canes. Lets the ball bounce. He'll let it go. And the football will roll dead at the Hurricane 37-yard line. There will be a timeout on the field, and now a little Hurricane history. How many regular season games has Miami won in a row? We'll have the answer when we come right back on Sports Channel Florida.
Pride, dedication, and love explain Miami's success. Quality education and research depend on that kind of motivation from faculty, students, and alumni.
It is a challenge going here, and it should be. The most important thing this university has to offer is the total experience of living, studying, and working in South Florida.
The University of Miami, one of the finest private universities in the United States.
The Hurricane Club is the fundraising arm of the athletic department.
It's a great way to keep in touch with the university and to know what's going on in all the sports.
We've had 2 national championships, and I think we've all Hurricane Club members are a little bit a part of that.
With you, and only with you, can we continue to field the type of program that will be national champions.
How many regular season games have the Hurricanes won in a row? We'll have the answer for you right after this play. Walsh back to pass. He's pressured. Throws downfield. It is complete. He completes the pass down at the 40-yard line to Andre Brown, a senior receiver, knocked down by Otis Smith. How many regular season games has Miami won in a row? Jim Mandich, do you know?
Regular season games? It's,
yeah, regular season.
35 in a row, I believe, Frank.
35 in a row, I believe you're going to be absolutely correct. And that is the correct answer. Second longest in the NCAA since World War II. The record held by Oklahoma with 45. World War I, I'm sorry. A little bit before my time. World War II, I have a faint recollection of. First and 10 for the Canes at the 40-yard line of Missouri. Walsh with 2 receivers wide right, gives the ball to Connolly. He finds a hole and works it down to the 31-yard line before he is brought down by Charles Murphy. Free safety from, again, Hollywood, Florida.
Nice big hole opened up on the left side by Darren Bruce and Mike Sullivan. Lead by Conley through the hole. Almost breaks this outside. The one-on-one tackle. And they've got to be pleased by Leonard Connolly's play thus far.
And you had to be pleased by the block that Cleveland Gary put on to help open up that hole. Walsh back to pass, looking right, throwing deep, got a man wide open. Dawkins overthrows him. Dawkins wide open, not a man within 5 yards of him, and Adrian Jones was responsible for Dawkins. But that time Walsh overthrew his receiver. It'll be third down and a yard to go, the ball at the 30-yard line. Miami leading by a score of 7-0, 5:40 left to go here in the first quarter. I think as the season goes along, you'll see Walsh checking off fewer times up at the line of scrimmage. I say that, now he checks off and he brings them up. Keeps it on the ground. Gary gets through the line and inside the 25-yard line to the 22. Number 38, Brian Reeves, a junior from Overland Park, Kansas, there to make the tackle. And we'll look at it again, Jim.
Running right behind the big fifth-year senior, John O'Neill. Look at the hole here on short yardage. And Gary always punishes the defenders, never goes down on the one-on-one tackle. They convert a third and short situation into a big game.
John O'Neill, 267-pounder from Cooper City and North Miami Beach High School. Hill wide to the left side this time as Walsh showing a passing formation. Only setback is Gary. Gives the ball to Gary. Stays on the ground. Just pure single effort as he moves down to the 12-yard line. He was down before the ball popped loose. Darren Bruce was in on the tackle, along with Pat Ray. Take another look at it.
Cleveland Gary, out of the one-back formation, finds a big hole again on the left side, working for extra yardage. I'm not so sure he was down when that ball came out, though, Frank.
He was not down when the ball came out. As the replay clearly shows, that ball was knocked loose by Pat Ray, the cornerback, and should have been a fumble. Miami had the ball back anyway. Walsh back to pass, looking right, and throws a short one to Chudzinski at the 15-yard line, and he advances it another couple of yards before Otis Smith brings him down.
Walsh loves Chudzinski, the tight end. He's very reliable. Little delay block, check, and out in the flat as a outlet, and they convert a simple play like that into a nice gain. Brings them into a 3rd and short situation.
3rd down and 2. The ball at the 13-yard line. Miami leading 7-0 and threatening. 3:58 left to play here in the first quarter. Check off by Walsh at the line. He gives the football to Cleveland Gary. Gary has the first down before he is knocked backwards by Adrian Jones. Adrian Jones playing before the home folks. He's from Hollywood Hills High School here in Hollywood, Florida. And we'll look at it again.
Nice hole opens up. There's Connolly on the lead block. There's Adrian Jones with a forearm to the chin. He punished him on that play.
5 attempts for 24 yards for Cleveland.
Adrian Jones is a fine football player. He's a candidate for the Thorpe Award. Best defensive back in America.
Receivers split wide and left and in the wing. Into the end zone. Dawkins, touchdown Miami. Well, they couldn't cover all of them, and Dawkins was wide open in the end zone. And the Hurricanes go on top 13-0 with Huerta coming on for the extra point.
Give a lot of credit to the offensive line on this one, Frank. Walsh just sits back there. Chudzinski is short. And there's Dawkins wide open in the end zone, and the Missouri defenders are scratching their heads saying, I thought you had him. Again, Walsh just standing back there reading the coverage. Incredible how wide open Dawkins is.
Went on for the extra point. And his kick is perfect, so the Hurricanes of the University of Miami take a 14-0 lead, and we still have 3:22 left to play here in the first quarter. We'll be back to the Orange Bowl right after this timeout on Sports Channel Florida.
Great moments in sports.
Save by Tank. Reed is there. They did it. The Devils make the playoffs for the first time in their history.
You never know when they're going to happen.
Straight away. Wow.
Hey, way back, and it's the 10,000th home run, the first franchise in Major League history to do so.
On October 6th, Wayne Gretzky plays his first game as a Los Angeles King, and the world will be watching on Sports Channel, the network of the National Hockey League.
For an inside look at one of America's most remarkable sports teams, join Sports Channel Florida for Dallas Cowboys Weekly. Hosted by Cowboys President and GM Tex Schramm, this unique magazine-style show tells the story behind the Cowboys' success and the people who bring the Cowboys alive. From the players to the coaches to the scouts, Cowboys Weekly deals with much more than just the game. Catch it each week on Sports Channel Florida, standard equipment for the Florida sports fan. Well, the Hurricanes now leading by a score of 14-0. We have 3:22 left to go in the first quarter, and again, Edgar Bennis ready to kick the football off. Back in deep safety for the Missouri Tigers, Skip Leach. Standing back in his own end zone, kick is in the air, wind behind it, and it is taken by one of the upmen. A little collision down there up to the 15, across the 20, out to about the 22-yard line. Comes Charles Quint on the kickoff return. So that was not Quint, that was Chris Hall. So the Tigers put it in play at their own 22-yard line, 1st and 10. And now we have John Stollenwerk back in at quarterback. He was shaken up earlier in the football game. The last scoring drive before Walsh throws 9 yards to Dawkins, 7 plays, 63 yards. Knocking 3.5 minutes, 3:32 really, off the clock. Stollenwerk pitches the ball to number 32, Smiley Elmore, and Elmore is brought down for no gain and perhaps a loss. Rod Carter moving in from his right linebacker spot along with Jimmy Jones.
Great defensive charge here by the Miami front. There's Jimmy Jones putting pressure on Rod Carter with a big hit. Most instinctive player on the Hurricane defense.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12 for the Tigers back at their own 20-yard line now. They stack it to the right side, and they try to go straight up the middle again for maybe 3 or 4 yards out to close to the 25. Tommy Stowers carries. Randy Shannon meets him at the 25-yard line and puts him down there. Tommy Stowers, 6'3", 216 pounds, from Kansas City, Missouri. He is a junior. Smiley Elmore perhaps gets more print, and Stowers perhaps does a little more work. Missouri rushing offense, 10th in the nation, averaging 285 yards per game. They're at the 25, 3rd and 7. Solid work thrown for a loss as he is sacked back at the 21-yard line. Greg Mark coming in along with Jimmy Jones.
Well, the emotion that was lacking a week ago is certainly here on the defensive side. Watch Greg Mark. Hustles. He is such an immovable object. He keeps coming. Talk about Greg Mark, and the Hurricane coaches just smile.
Jimmy Mikowski, the kicking into the wind, gets it high. The wind will nine. Fumbled by Spencer. Battle for the football, and Spencer has it. Darrell Spencer recovers his own fumble at the Missouri 44-yard line. Stollenwerk went out of the football game early in the first quarter with a bruised shoulder, but obviously, as he was back for that last series, he is all right.
Frank, we mentioned prior to the ball game that the weather was going to be a factor. Each and every time that Missouri has kicked into the wind, Miami has come up with great field position. Here they start at their own 44-yard line.
And that wind will help Missouri in the final period of the football game. Back to pass, Walsh. Going long downfield, looking for Hill. Touchdown, Miami. Adrian Jones defending, but no match for Randall Hill, the speedster from Killian High School, right here in Miami. Sophomore, 5'11", 175 pounds, and watch him on the fly pattern down the right side. Jimmy?
They're going to Randall Hill the whole way. It is a fly pattern. Again, they go at Adrian Jones. He had a little nose trouble there, and a great catch by Randall Thrill Hill, and that's got to be a big confidence builder for him, Frank. He's been struggling through the first 3 games this year.
That'll make it 20-0 Miami. We're still in the first quarter, and here is Werda to try to add his 3rd conversion of the football game. It's placed, it's kicked, and the kick is good. So with 1:13 left to go in the first quarter, the Hurricanes of the University of Miami have pulled out in front of Missouri by a score of 21-0. And this is what Jimmy Johnson, the coach of the Hurricanes, had wanted to do last week, break an early big lead and then start experimenting. Maybe in this football game he'll get that chance, Jim Mandich.
Well, I'll get back to that, Frank. Here's another look at the touchdown. It's a fly pattern all the way. They obviously have seen something in Adrian Jones' play. He's got a lot of interceptions. That means he's got nose trouble from time to time. Great catch by Randall Hill.
All righty, Adrian Jones had 3 interceptions coming into this. I don't believe any college defensive player in the country had any more. But as you mentioned, they're attacking Jones.
They benefited from great field position. Scoring drive, 1 play, 44 yards. Walsh to Randall Thrill Hill.
Bennis kicks it off. Leach will let it go, and it goes out of the end zone. Touchback out to the 20-yard line. Well, there again, with the long game working, by that I mean the long passes to the wideouts, perhaps Jimmy Johnson will get to do some of the other things that he wanted to do last week in this football game, Jim.
Absolutely. That's an incredible story right there.
Miami with 184 total yards, Missouri -3. Good gracious. Stollenberg back at a quarterback for the Tigers as they start play at their own 20-yard line. Fumble. Jimmy Jones knocked Stollenberg down behind the line of scrimmage. Stollenberg did not really fumble. It looked like the ball was going to pop loose, but he hit the deck and covered it. And we'll look at it again. Watch Jimmy Jones.
Well, we see the wishbone. It's tough to come from behind with a wishbone offense, Frank. I would look for Missouri to open this game up in a hurry because Miami has had no trouble defensing the bone thus far, as evidenced by that total yardage of -3 yards by the Tigers.
2nd and 10 at the 20-yard line. Stollenberg brings him up. He has 2 receivers out to the left side. And he'll try to pass to his right side and almost knocked loose. Is it knocked loose?
They're calling it an incompleted pass.
Arm was started forward. Jimmy Jones hit him again.
Great pressure by the Miami defensive front. They're just coming. There's Russell Maryland, Greg Mark. Looks like Russell Maryland got the sack there, or the pressure.
Russell Maryland came right down on his back. So it'll be 3rd and 10 at the 20-yard line. An obvious passing situation here. And here comes the Canes after him. He keeps the ball on the ground and gets 2 yards. Tommy Stowers carries. Bernard Clark coming in from his middle linebacker spot to make the tackle. 17 seconds left to go, and Miami calls timeout to stop the clock, Jim Mandich, to make them kick into the wind. He wants to make them punt into the wind again, does Jimmy Johnson, and that's why they call time to stop the clock.
And that's the genius of Jimmy Johnson. He finds little things to help this team win. And especially in the kicking game. In the Michigan game, we saw him go with a fake kick and get a big first down. In this ball game with 17 seconds left, rather than preserve a timeout, he takes the timeout. He's been getting great field position in this transition. And again, he makes Missouri kick into the wind. Miami should get possession right around the 50-yard line here.
Since coming to Miami in 1984, Johnson has never been upset by an unranked football team. So he makes Missouri kick into the wind. Darrell Spencer back in lone safety. They may try to block this one. They have 10 men up on the line. The Canes do. Long count, and all 10 men rush. They do not block it. They hurry it. Spencer has it at his own 36, almost falls. Still on his feet, though, as he crosses the 45 and goes out of bounds at the 48-yard line, but a penalty marker back at the point of the kick, and they may have roughed the kicker, Mikowski.
No question on the call. Miami came very close the time before. The block is on all the way. You pointed out correctly, Frank. There goes the kicker down.
And it's Sandy Jack who knocked him down. Sandy Jack made contact. Now big discussion over on the far side of the field. And the clock shows 7 seconds remaining here in the first quarter.
That is a change in the rules a couple of years ago. Roughing the kicker, unless it's flagrant, is no longer an automatic first down. So Miami will take possession again right around the 50-yard line. Jimmy Johnson's move paid off.
He made him kick into the wind. Spent a timeout to keep the wind on his side. And the Canes will put the ball in play at their own 48-yard line with 7 seconds left to go here in the first quarter, and Miami leading by a score of 21-0. Walsh at quarterback. Resets Leonard Conley in his backfield. Dawkins left, Hill right. The give is to number 20, Crowell, Shannon Crowell, who had come in, replacing Cleveland Gary. Crowell is knocked down by Chris Russell. So right now, the first quarter ends, and we'll take this time out with Miami leading Missouri 21-0. We'll be right back on Sports Channel Florida.
Hungry for some hockey? Thursday, Sports Channel premieres with a double dose of top hockey hits. First, those feisty New Jersey Devils battle arch-rival Philadelphia. Then, you heard all about the trade. Now, see Wayne Gretzky in his first game as a King when Los Angeles collides with Steve Yzerman and the Detroit Red Wing Express. An opening night doubleheader, live, beginning at 7:30 p.m. exclusively on Sports Channel, the network of the National Hockey League. Thursday.
On the outside, Thunder's Image and Azarel Ticulero. They are in the lane. They'll have to go some to catch Blitz and Elmhurst. And now Pete Rand urging them on. Thunder's Image the outside. They're running out of ground. And Blitz and Elmhurst turning in an awesome performance. It's Blitz and Elmhurst in 1:53 flat, equaling the all-time fastest mile ever at Pompano Park.
Racing from Pompano Park, only on Sports Channel Florida. Sports Channel Florida is your ticket to the most University of Florida events. During the year, you'll see all the action of Gator football, basketball, and baseball. Plus, Sports Channel will bring you the best of Gator swimming, tennis, and gymnastics, coverage you can't see anywhere else. You won't want to miss any of the exciting Gator action on Sports Channel Florida. Standard equipment for the Florida sports fan. Well, Jim Mandich, a few changes for the Hurricanes as far as moving Greg Mark from a tackle to a defensive end position. They say the Mark was just getting beat to death there in the middle of that defensive line. He weighs only 238 pounds, and that move has certainly paid off so far. We'll talk about that a little bit more as we go along. Right now, Walsh brings him up to the line of scrimmage, which is the 48-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 5. The give is to Conley, maybe thrown for a loss, and is. Reaching in to get a big paw on him, number 71, Steve Vandergrift, a 277-pound defensive end from Grandview, Missouri.
Not much there on that play. Vandergrift, big, strong player. He's a dominant player. Again, one of the players on the Mizzou defense who was switched from linebacker to defensive line. They've got great quickness along the front.
Ryan Reeves out and Mike Logan in, it appears, at defensive spot. And here come the Hurricanes. 3rd and 6. Hill splits out wide to the right side. Dawkins at a slot right side. The throw is to the right side. He hits Conley. Conley across the 35, down almost to the 30-yard line. Leonard Conley out of the backfield taking Walsh's pass, and that is certainly good for a first down and much more. A.J. Miller made the stop finally, along with Charles Murphy.
They've got trips flood to the right. Nobody picks up Leonard Conley. He's wide open in the flat. He turns it upfield. He makes them pay the price. There's Adrian Jones. He's having a rough day today, Frank. He got knocked on his fanny on that one.
Conley overmatched Jones, certainly, on that particular play. 1st and 10 for the Canes at the 32-yard line of Missouri. Conley again carrying. And got maybe a yard before Lee Johnson met him and stopped him. Look at first quarter statistics. A string of zeros for the Tigers. Miami 44 yards rushing, 145 passing for a total of 189, and nothing for Missouri. By the way, the Darren Handy was the lead blocker on that last play from Columbus High here in Miami. Walsh plenty of time, throws and completes, and again it is Conley. Darren McDonald made the tackle, and we'll take another look.
The play is called weak back short option. He's leading Conley all the way. He turns it up in the zone right between the two defenders. Nice play, good first down.
Little linebacker Darren McDonald in to make the stop. 1st and 10 for the Canes. They're inside the 20-yard line, leading 21-0 early in the second quarter. Staying on the ground, and again it is Conley. Make that Lee Johnson who made the stop. Shannon Crowell, the ball carrier. Crowell and Conley are the setbacks. Walsh, 10 out of 13 for 174 yards and 3 touchdowns.
He is a very special player. Unquestionably the leader on this Hurricane offense. Some Heisman talk starting to surround Steve Walsh.
Well, at the 17-yard line, 2nd and 9. Looks like Walsh is checking out again. Two receivers split wide right. Connolly, the lone setback. He throws for Crowell, incomplete at the 15-yard line. That time, Adrian Jones in defending on the play, along with Charles Murphy. Crowell, the intended receiver. Shannon from Mays High in Atlanta, Georgia, just a sophomore.
Same play that we saw 3 plays earlier. There's trips right. He goes to Shannon Crowell in the flats. This time, Adrian Jones not fooled. He comes up and does a little punishing of his own on that play.
21-0, Miami leading. 12:06 left to play here at the second quarter at the Sugar Bowl. The Hurricanes 100% at third down conversions, 5 out of 5, and they face their 6th right here. 3rd and 9. Trips right again. With Crowell, the lone setback, and Walsh finds the whistle blow. It took too much time. Or was he forced to take a timeout? Evidently forced to take a timeout. That is the Hurricanes' 2nd.
Walsh didn't like something.
21-0, Miami leading with 12:06. We'll be right back.
Let Sports Channel Florida take you out to the races all year long for exclusive coverage of thoroughbred action from New York. Join me, Harvey Pack, as I bring you same-day recaps of all the racing action from Aqueduct, Saratoga, and Belmont Park. Plus, there's nightly guests and features for around the thoroughbred racing industry. Catch all the exciting action from the starting gate to the finish line, Wednesday through Monday nights, right here on Sports Channel Florida.
Sports Channel Florida brings you the best in college football with live coverage of the Southwest Conference. Each Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m., we'll bring you all the excitement of college football at its best, including teams like Texas, Arkansas, Texas A&M, Houston, and Texas Tech. Join Sports Channel on Saturday, October 8th at 1 p.m. when the Texas Tech Red Raiders travel to Arkansas to face the Razorbacks. Catch it right here on Sports Channel Florida. Miami leading Missouri, 12:06 left to go here in the first half. And you were talking, Jim Mandich, about Steve Walsh being a very special person. Certainly professional type material, I would have to think.
Absolutely. He's got great poise, great leadership. He doesn't have a bazooka attached to his right shoulder, but nobody's better at reading the defenses. He's undefeated as a starter for the Hurricanes. He's got all the intangibles. Some question whether Steve Walsh will return next year to play for the Hurricanes.
He said he was a little bit embarrassed about that story, but every time I see a story or a wild rumor, I've got to think that there is something that ignites it. Trips right again for the Canes. 3rd and 9. Walsh long count, dropping back to pass, and his arm is hit as he turns it loose. That'll be an incompleted pass as Charles Murphy came blitzing in from his safety position to hit Walsh just as he was trying to release. So it'll be 4th and 9, and we'll look at it once again.
This is Pittsburgh Steelers defense right here. They'll blitz you anytime you're in a green zone. Here comes the free safety on the blitz, and Walsh just didn't have enough time to get it away. I'm sure a second earlier, and he would have had a nice one-on-one situation that he could have taken advantage of.
Huerta will try a 35-yard field goal. Kirk Sandifer will spot it down at the 25-yard line. It's down, it's in the air, and it looks good, and it is good. Walk on, Carlos Huerta kicks the field goal, and the Hurricanes of Miami go on in front by a score of 24-0. And here is the possible route that everybody anticipated last week. And Jim Mandich, you were talking, and we all realized that Missouri a better football game really than Wisconsin. I'm sure that Jimmy Johnson has made believers now, he and his coaching staff believers, out of his football players.
Right. You see what emotion means to a football game. The team came in last week off the Michigan game, a big win. All week they're talking Michigan. They weren't ready to play Wisconsin. They played rather poorly a week ago. This week, you can see they come out of the locker room full of fire, full of emotion, both offensively and defensively. They're dominating on both sides of the ball. Consequently, with 12 minutes left in the first half, 24-0 Miami.
Skip Leach back in single safety for Missouri as Bennis is ready to kick off for the Hurricanes, and here we go again. Canes leading 24-0. Leach takes the ball at his own 2. Out to the 15, fights his way to the 20, still on his feet and knocked down at the 22-yard line. Skip Leach. Miami's overall record against Big 8 conference teams, they're trying to make it 500 for their career against the Big 8, having won 10 and lost 11 so far. Skip Leach, who runs the kicks back for the Tigers, small man, freshman from Louisville, Kentucky, only 5'9" and 162 pounds, but he has good speed. Ball at the 23-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Tigers. One man in motion. Southernwork hands off as they try the right side of the Miami line for really nothing. That is Chris Hall, number 25, and Shane Curry getting the start at defensive right tackle, with Mark moving to left end, making the stop.
Great defense here by Shane Curry. I'm quite frankly surprised that Missouri is still running that play, Frank, and has had no success in this ball game, and they're behind 24-0.
They split Ronnie Cameron out wide to the left side, out of the wishbone backfield. Stollenberg up, there's movement there, but I don't see a flag. Stollenberg now pitches the ball straight ahead and is picked out of the air by the Hurricanes, with Greg Mark grabbing the loose football to no avail. Penalty markers down all over the place. Backfield in motion, illegal movement by the Tigers of Missouri. Stollenberg talking to the official about the play. And that'll make it 2nd and 15 as they tack on the 5-yard penalty. No, penalty is declined.
3rd down! 3rd down!
2nd and 10. 3rd and 10. Yeah, there was the motion.
We can see the motion there.
Yep.
No question about it.
He just sort of flipped that ball ahead. A very dangerous play. It was fumbled and grabbed by Mark, but the play had been blown dead. 3rd and 10. The football at the 23-yard line of Missouri. Stollenberg. Receiver wide left. He still has the football, keeping to the 25, across the 30, but not enough for a first down. Bubba McDowell out of Merritt Island High School in to make the stop for the Hurricanes, and the Tigers will be forced to kick.
Actually, a pretty good call. The quarterback is on a draw there. The blitz was on, and he's unaccounted for. Solid work just not quick enough to get that extra yard for the first down.
Jimmy Mikowski averaging 37.2 with a long kick of 47. Standing back at his own 17, gets a good snap. And with the wind behind him, a high spiraling kick. Taken at the 25-yard line by Spencer. Goes wide left. Across the 40, 45, across midfield. Into the 45, into the 40. Still on his feet inside the 35 and brought down at the 33-yard line of Missouri. Darrell Spencer. Well, I'll tell you one thing. We'll take another look at this on our replay situation.
Boy, look at the wall. Sandy Jack with a big crackback block there. And then the wall sets up, and Spencer reads it perfectly. He cuts back inside. One of the things Jimmy Johnson wanted to accomplish in this game was to get things out of the special teams in the kicking game, and that certainly has been the case this afternoon in the Orange Bowl for the Hurricanes.
Darrell Spencer, only a freshman, 5'9", 180 pounds. Canes put the ball in play at the Tiger 33. This time it is Crowell. Shannon Crowell near side on his feet at the 20, brought down at the 18-yard line. Shannon Crowell. And the Hurricanes now having a chance to use some of their secondary men on the ground plays.
High formation. He's just splattering across the line. He gets some great blocking. Cleveland Gary again putting his man on the ground. And then Crowell with some great individual effort. Good blocking downfield by Andre Brown. Great effort by the Hurricanes here this afternoon.
20 yards and 3 carries for Shannon Crowell. 1st and 10 for the Canes. Inside the Missouri 20 at the 18-yard line. Leading 24-0. Walsh throwing near side. Has Crowell. Crowell at the 10. Still on his feet inside the 5. Before he is put down by number 55, Darren McDonald. Darren McDonald, the middle linebacker from Ellisville, Missouri.
Walsh trying to hit downfield. He's looking for his tight end. It's not there. He throws it out to Crowell. Look at the punishing running of Shannon Crowell. That's great individual effort. What emotion the Hurricanes brought to the ballpark this afternoon.
1st and goal from the 4-yard line, as the Hurricanes are having Missouri Tiger for dinner tonight. This time it is Cleveland Gary, and he fights his way into the end zone standing up. Cleveland Gary found a hole on the right side of the Missouri line and went right into the end zone standing up, and the Canes now lead 30-0.
Good blocking by Darren Bruce, the left tackle, number 52, and Mike Sullivan. Look at the hole. Look at that surge. Cleveland Gary leaps over the pile into the end zone, standing up.
You have to like the way Mike Sullivan opened up that hole. Big man, 274-pounder from St. Francis de Sales High School in Chicago, number 79, Mike Sullivan. Weta out of Sandifer's hole for the extra point. And it is good. So the Canes now lead 31-0. We still have 9 minutes and 14 seconds left to play here in the first half. We'll be right back here on Sports Channel Florida. Stay tuned.
Where can you find Wayne Gretzky in his first game as a Los Angeles King?
Oh, did he root that baby?
Where will you see the Edmonton Oilers taking him on their 5th Stanley Cup?
Shoots just wide. The rebound is back in.
Where will Mario Lemieux attempt to rewrite NHL history?
Stick handling, shooting, he scores!
With more games than ever before, nobody delivers the speed, action, and excitement of the NHL like Sports Channel, the network of the National Hockey League.
For all the up-to-date news and action on the thoroughbred racing scene, tune in to Sports Channel Florida every Tuesday night for Inside Racing. Join hosts Harvey Pack and John Imbrial for an in-depth look from behind the scenes at racetracks across the country. They'll bring you highlights of great races and interview the biggest names in the racing industry. That's Inside Racing every Tuesday night at 6:30 right here on Sports Channel Florida. Standard equipment for the Florida sports fan. Well, Jim Manish, doesn't seem to make much difference which way the Canes go, north, south, east, west. They just keep racking up the points, leading now 31-0.
That drive was impressive. The Hurricanes much more physical on that one. When they had the wind at their back, they were throwing the football.
4 plays, 32 yards, and 1 minute 1 second in possession. Gary with a 4-yard run for the touchdown. That is set to kick off for the Hurricanes. Skip Leach, lone safety, and a short kick, high and very short. They'll let it bounce, and they down it at the 27-yard line. You can't make a fair catch on a kickoff. But the ball was down right there at the 27. So this will probably be the best field position that the Tigers have started with so far in the football game.
Tigers have got to make their move now, Frank. I'd look for them to open up, come out of the wishbone. Yeah, that's Butch Davis. He's the defensive line coach. He's on the phones with Dave Wanstead upstairs, calling in the defensive signals.
Sullenberg gives off as they keep the ball on the ground to the right side. Number 27, Sean Moore, the ball carrier, and Bernard Clark on the stop for the Hurricanes. First activity for Sean Moore.
There's Tiger Clark, still in the middle right there, getting his hat on the linebacker. He leads the Hurricane in tackles.
Back to pass this time. Sullenberg throwing down the middle, looking, and complete. He completes to number 89, Tim Bruton. brought down by Bubba McDowell. Tim Bruton, the tight end, and again, a very, very fine football player. Bruton is from Houston, Texas, and a good size for a tight end, Jim Mandich, at 6'4", 230-plus pounds.
You try not to use the word great too often, but he is a great tight end. The best in the Big 8. He's just a sophomore, 6'4", 237. He runs a 4.6. The pros are drooling over this kid to come out of college.
Wow. 1st and 10 for Missouri. That's their first big play of the football game. Now carrying the football, number 27. That will be Sean Moore again, as he tries to move into Miami territory, and may have before Rod Carter from Fort Lauderdale High School, and Bernard Clark, his partner at linebacker from Lido High in Tampa, close in on him. The ball in Miami territory at the Canes 49. First time Missouri has been in Miami territory so far in the football game. 7:40 left to go in the second quarter. Warming up on
Craig Erickson, the young man from West Palm Beach, who didn't play too well last week, going to get another chance.
Mix-up in signals for Missouri, and that time they're lucky to hang on to the football as Russell Maryland decks the quarterback, John Stollenwerk. They had a real mix-up right there.
He's hit by several Hurricanes, still gave him the play. 3rd and 9 at the 49.
That is Fitzmaurice.
He went to the first option, but there was no option. He was left with a football. He's lucky he didn't get tattooed on that one. There was a little extracurricular activity at the bottom of the field there. Randy Shannon and Bruton got into it a little bit. Shannon's out of the ball game now.
Time Fitzmaurice says, "You take it," and he said, "I don't want it, babe." It'll be 3rd and 9 at the Miami 49-yard line. Canes leading 31-0. Long count by Fitzmaurice. He is back to pass, loses the football, and Missouri retains possession. Russell Maryland hit him. And falling on the football to save possession, Curtis Wilson, the center from Ponca City, Oklahoma. So for that one play anyway, Curtis Wilson saved the day for Missouri.
Well, the Miami front has been relentless. Look at Russell Maryland. He's going to knock it out here with his right hand. Oops, I forgot something. Lucky it's not a turnover there for the Missouri Tigers. Great defensive pressure by the Hurricanes.
Jimmy Mikowski to punt, 38.3 average. Short punt this time, not a good punt at all. And they'll let it roll. And it takes a nice Missouri roll and bounces out of bounds at the Miami 13-yard line. So the Canes will take over the football, but in bad field position. We'll be right back here on Sports Channel Florida. Miami leading 31-0. Coming this fall on Sports Channel Florida, South Florida heats up like never before with the Miami Heat. Throughout the season, Sports Channel and the Heat will team up for 41 of the hottest NBA games you can't see anywhere else. Tune in for the season opener on Saturday, November 5th, as the Heat host the Los Angeles Clippers and the nation's top college pick, Danny Manning. Catch it right here on Sports Channel Florida. Standard equipment for the Florida sports fan. For a complete recap of Chicago White Sox baseball, tune in to Sports Channel Florida all season long. Every week, White Sox manager Jim Fregosi and play-by-play announcer John Rooney review all the week's highlights on Sox 88 Weekly. They'll bring you all the great catches, plays, and bloopers from across the American League, including special features and player interviews. Sox 88 Weekly, coming your way each Wednesday night, right here on Sports Channel Florida, standard equipment for the Florida sports fan. Craig Erickson is in at quarterback for the University of Miami as they put the ball in play at their own 13-yard line. Erickson gives off to Shannon Crowell. A fumble, battle for the football. If Missouri's got it, they're going to have great position, and the Tigers got it. Shannon Crowell fumbles, and the Tigers recover the football deep in Miami territory.
Well, the second unit is in there, and they're trying to get something out of this, but there goes the ball on the ground. A Miami turnover. Missouri hustled for the ball. Adrian Jones there on the recovery.
And it was Darren McDonald who knocked the football loose. Saw a big play there for the Tigers. 1st and 10 at the Miami 11. That's the Hurricanes' second turnover of the football game. Brad Fitzmaurice in at quarterback for the Missouri Tigers. Knocking on the door. He still has it, looking to pass, throws into a crowd, incomplete. Boy, what a crowd he did throw into. Bubba McDowell and Kenny Berry both defending over there for the University of Miami, as Fitzmaurice that time was looking for Smiley Elmore out of the backfield. 0 for 3 for Fitzmaurice.
He looked very much like a freshman on that read, Frank.
And he is a freshman from Jefferson City, Missouri. 2nd and 10, the ball at the 11. 4 down linemen for the Hurricanes. On a draw play, it is Stowers, and Stowers gets only a yard to the 10. Tommy Stowers is stopped by Randy Shannon.
3rd and 9 at the Miami 10.
Ball at the 10-yard line, 3rd down and 9 yards to go. Randy Shannon, 6 feet tall, 224 pounds, out of Norland High School here in Miami. There goes Stowers out to the right side. Lammers also split out to the right. Elmore, the only setback, quick pass, incomplete. Defending for the Hurricanes, that was intended for Jim White, with Harden defending for the Canes.
Well, you can see Miami in the Bear defense. They're coming on the 46 blitz here. Fitzmaurice knows he has to get rid of it quickly, but his receiver did not. Hit him in the back with a football.
So 4th and 9, as a timeout has been called on the football field. Miami leading by a score of 31-0 over Missouri, as Fitzmaurice goes to the sidelines to talk to Woody Widenhopper, his head coach. We mentioned the fact, Jim Mandich, Widenhopper was the defensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's where he met Jimmy Johnson, and they became good friends, as Jimmy had the same job. He was defensive coordinator at that time for the University of Pittsburgh. This broadcast and the broadcast rights to this game have been granted to Sports Channel by the University of Miami solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the express written consent of Sports Channel Florida is prohibited. You would think that these teams would have similar defenses, as Jimmy Johnson and Widenhopper became very close friends while both were in that capacity in Pittsburgh.
Absolutely, but Jimmy Johnson's experience is in the college game. He's used to the college defenses. Woody's is in the program. It's interesting that the Miami fans have really gotten involved here, and just on the turnover, they're trying to get the shutout here this afternoon against Missouri. Big 4th down play coming up.
All right. Missouri will go for the touchdown on 4th and 9, and certainly not the field goal. And Fitzmaurice back to pass. Looking to the end zone, and it is incomplete. And the Canes will take over the football. Bobby Harden back defensively for the University of Miami. So the fans, as you mentioned, wanting the shutout, and so far they still have it. Miami's defense is allowing an average of 11 points per game, but I'll tell you something, listen to this. Miami's defense has not allowed a rushing touchdown in the regular season since last year against Toledo, the 9th game of the season. Craig Erickson at quarterback for the Canes. He has Cleveland Gary, one of his setbacks. Gives to the second man through, and stopped at the 10-yard line for no gain at all. Leonard Conley is stopped by Darrell Darling. Now, Darling, again, from this area, he's from Hallandale, Florida, a 6'2", 282-pound senior for Missouri. I'll tell you, when Conley has been stopped, Jim, he has been stopped by some men who have outweighed him better than 100 pounds.
Conley is diminutive, 5'9", 170, but he's very compact, very strong runner. Good blocker also.
And once he finds that hole, he can disappear in a hurry. Out of the I formation, back to pass, throwing. Erickson completes to the right side to Kelleher, and Kelleher comes out across the 20. Brian Reeves drives him out of bounds, at about the 22-yard line. Brian Kelleher, who got the start last week when Chudzinski was injured.
There's Kelleher. You can see him working all the way across for the formation. Missouri's in his zone. They catch it underneath. Kelleher makes the catch, turns upfield like all good tight ends. He tries to punish somebody before he goes down.
And he's out of bounds at the 23, first and 10 for the Canes. Back again to pass. Erickson looking left side, and this time it is complete out on the left side to Pee Wee Smith.
I don't think so. I think he dropped it.
Did he drop it? All right, he had his back this way, and you're right. Incomplete.
About an 8 or 9 yard square out. Erickson looks much more under control than a week ago when he was sailing the ball. Pee Wee should have had that catch. It would have been a first down.
Well, Greg Mark showing you how to keep cool here on a very humid evening at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Pee Wee Smith splits wide out to the left side as it is second and 10 for the Canes at their own 23-yard line. Erickson gives this time to Cleveland Gary. Gary to the 30, after the 35, stumbles and is knocked down at the 40. Cleveland Gary was on his way down when he was hit by A.J. Miller from San Antonio, Texas. So Gary picking up some yardage for the Canes as he brings it out to the 39.
Again, left side, Darren Bruce, Mike Sullivan. Look at that hole. You and I could run through that, Frank. And then Cleveland Gary, great individual effort.
Well, I'll tell you something, Jim Mandich. You might be able to run through it. I can't run it all anymore. Too many pieces of steel and springs and bolts in these hips of mine. But it was a tremendous hole. Fumble by Erickson, gets it back, catches it back up on the bounce, throws, and completes the pass out to the 47-yard line. Kelleher, the big tight end, again, seeing his quarterback, Erickson, in trouble, got himself open, and Erickson saw it.
Well, not only are they playing very well, things are going this way. This is a dream hop that Erickson gets. Erickson finds his tight end. There he is, curled up in the zone, makes the catch, puts the ball away, makes a plus play out of one that could have been negative yardage.
So the ball out to the 46-yard line, where it'll be second down and 4 yards to go for the Canes. Canes lead 31-0 with 3:08 left to go in the first half. Keeping the ball on the ground, Conley driving for yardage, gets it inside the 45-yard line. Adrian Jones makes the tackle for the Missouri Tigers at the Missouri 44.
High formation, right behind Bobby Garcia. You can take and see him taking the nose tackle right out of there, and then Conley refuses to go down on a one-on-one. You can see the Hurricanes just brought a lot of fire and emotion to the ballpark. Again, here's another look at it. Look at that hole again. And Missouri is supposed to be a big, powerful team up front. Miami is handling that big, powerful Missouri club. Jump on the pile.
The Tigers have taken a timeout with Miami leading by a score of 31-0. And this is what Jimmy Johnson has had in mind for the last couple of weeks, getting a lot of reserves in the football game, getting playing time for Craig Erickson, a sophomore from Cardinal Newman High School in Atlantis, Florida, 6'2", 195-pounder. He brings him up to the line. Two men split right. He's looking left. Throwing deep left, man wide open, Adrian Brown. That should be a touchdown, and Brown waltzes into the end zone. And again, we talked before the game about the defense. Pat Ray was the defensive man there, but really there has not been much defense at all for Missouri in this football game.
Well, Pat Ray, the quarterback up top there, is not even in the picture. It's got to be a blown coverage. Andre Brown, come to me, baby. And we knew with that blitzing, risky Missouri defense, we'd see some big plays today. But Frank, I didn't know that it would be 37 and soon to be 38-0 in the first half.
No, I would not have thought that either. Perhaps last week, we were led to believe last week it might have been that way. Carlos Huerta in to kick the extra point, and kick it he does. So it is now, as you said, 38-0. Miami leading Missouri, and a complete blowout here in the first half at the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. We still have 2:33 left to play here in the first half. We'll be right back. We're not going anywhere. We're going to stay right here with Miami leading 38-0 over the University of Missouri.
Frank, I had a chance to talk to offensive coordinator Gary Stevens this week. And we talked about Craig Erickson and I asked him about his play. He says, I'm glad it happened to him. He said, I'm glad he got his nose rubbed in the dirt a little bit. He says, that kind of experience is going to be important to us later in the year when we need him.
Join Sports Channel Florida during the year for all the exciting action of Hurricane basketball, baseball, and track and field, just to mention a few of the Miami Hurricane events right here on Sports Channel Florida. Standard equipment for the Florida sports fan. Venice will kick off for the Canes, leading now 38-0, 2:33 left to play in the first half. Skip Leach, lone safety man for the Tigers, and instead taken by one of the up men at the 10, to the 15, to the 20, on his feet out to the 24-yard line. And that is as far as Chris Hall can go. Tackle is made there by Anthony Hamlet of the Canes. We'll see a lot of people in this football game before the evening is over that we have seen very little of, if any of, so far this 1988 season. 90 yards in 9 plays, 2 minutes and 26 seconds possession. Erickson, 45-yard pass for Andre Brown for the touchdown. Now the Miami defense swarming in with Eric Miller and Cortez Kennedy all over the Missouri Tigers. Back. They'll spot the ball back at the 23-yard line.
Tiger Clark coming off holding his left hand. Looks like he jammed his fingers or something.
The Tiger hurt his paw, but he'll be back. 2nd and 11 for the Tigers. Fitzmaurice, little shovel pass forward to Smiley Elmore, and Elmore gets just a little bit, not much. Maurice Crum in to make the tackle for the University of Miami. The gain 3 on this one, Jim.
This is a little shovel pass that a lot of teams are using. It's a forward pass. If he drops it, it's not a fumble. It would be an incompleted forward pass. That's why they use it in that situation. They try to get the linebackers dropping off, get the linemen charging upfield, and run through the seam created by the 2.
Maurice Crum was not to be moved as ball carrier bounced right off of him. He made the tackle. Fitzmaurice keeping the ball himself, and he is smeared at the 25. Shane Curry and Cortez Kennedy both in on him. Missouri has gained only 18 yards passing the football so far in this football game, with Miami racking up 255 yards between Walsh and Erickson. 40 seconds and the clock counting down. 37 seconds. Miami leading by a score of 38-0 here in the first half. And Mikowski back to punt again for the University of Missouri. Spiraling kick, not too high, does not get much advantage from the wind. 45-yard line, reversing his field back the other way. Darrell Spencer trying to find running room, still on his feet, and finally brought down at the Missouri 44-yard line, where he is knocked out of bounds. I'll tell you, Spencer does a lot of running down there laterally, back and forth. Jimmy Johnson, a quick word or two to Erickson on the sideline.
He's telling him right now, we're in the 2-minute drill. I want to get Craig Erickson some experience running the team in 2 minutes. Somewhere in this season, he's going to be in that situation and really need it. He's got 13 seconds left here. He wants to see how Erickson can stand up under these circumstances.
Well, I would presume Erickson would call a couple of plays right here in the huddle. He sends Pee Wee Smith wide out to the left side. Doyle Aaron splitting out to the right side, and he overthrows both Aaron and number 93, Randy Bethel, his 2 receivers on the right side. I think Aaron was the primary receiver there. So the incompleted pass will stop the clock with 10 seconds left to go in the first half.
And when we've seen Erickson struggle, it's when that ball sails on him. He's a real emotional young fella. He's getting in there, getting his shot, and when he's pumped up full of adrenaline, that ball tends to rise on him.
2nd and 10. Erickson back to pass again, throwing left. And is it caught or not caught? If it's caught, it's a first down. And it is complete over on the left side as he completes the pass to Doyle Aaron, a wide receiver. Doyle Aaron from Fort Lauderdale's Northeast High School, just a freshman, 6'1", 198. Clock shows 3 seconds, time for one more play, and Huerta's going to try a long, long field goal. The line of scrimmage is the 31. That'll make it about a 48-yard field goal attempt, and against the wind. I'll tell you, if Huerta makes this, it'll be his longest. It's going to be interesting to watch this young man. I don't know whether he's got the leg for this or not, Jim Mandich.
This
we'll
would
see.
be right, a marginal kick, right at his distance. Known more for accuracy than distance in his kicking.
Kicking into the wind, a 48-yard attempt. Sanderpool will spot it down. Biggsy gets it back. The kick is in the air, and it is no good. No good. Just a little too much, and without the wind, maybe. But with the wind, no. That'll end the first half, but don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. That is just the half of it. Canes lead it 38-0 over the Missouri Tigers, and we'll be right back here on Sports Channel Florida.
All the years that I've been with you, that Bentley's been with you, Tellender's been with you, we're talking for him 20 years, we're talking 30 years, we've known where you stand on women's rights.
I was there before there was a movement.
All right, okay, but now you seem to be straddling
I'm not
this.
saying that there's anything but, I don't have anything but contempt for what he said. It was a stupid thing to say.
Well,
but how long is this going to keep on?
Forever, as long as he lives, because he says stupid things.
But how long do you... So we can
That's the question. I say
Okay.
stupid things, and the words...
But you don't say it. You say it only on this program. but you don't say it outside.
I say it all over.
And then he comes back and does my favorite song, as only Al Jolson can do it. Toot, toot, tootsie, goodbye.
There, you sure
and I
wasn't
said,
a
I
dream?
couldn't... If it was a dream, it was a hell of a dream.
Sure wasn't a drug flash back then?
No. If drinking coffee before I go to bed is a drug, tune into the Sports Writers every week, and we thank you so much for watching.
Hello, everybody. I'm Carl Foster. Join me each week right here on your favorite station for Inside World Tennis, the weekly fast-paced magazine talk show all about the world of tennis, both on and off the court. Every week, we cover the world of tennis, both professional and amateur, from tennis fashions to sports medicine, instructional tips with Spike Gurney, as well as our Pro of the Week and our Junior and Senior Player of the Week. It's all on Inside World Tennis each week, right here on your favorite station. Don't miss it.
Halftime here at the Orange Bowl in Miami. The rain is falling right now, but that will not dampen the spirits of the Hurricane football fans gathered here in the Orange Bowl as they see their Canes leading Missouri by a score of 38-0. I'm Frank Musser with Jim Mandich, and Jim, it just appears that the Hurricanes were able to score at will against Missouri. The Tigers just unable to defense the long receivers for Miami.
Well, one of the things the Hurricanes thought that they could accomplish coming into this game was the big play. I mentioned that Missouri is a risk-taking defense. They like to blitz. And Miami has been able to take advantage of that. They've gotten some big plays in the first half. They've also been much more consistent in the running game than they have in their previous 3 games. Leonard Connolly and Cleveland Gary have been very productive for the Canes in the first half.
And you talk about consistency. Craig Erickson has had a chance to play quite a bit in the first half, and I'm sure will play quite a bit of quarterback in the second half, has been much more consistent than he was in the Wisconsin game a week ago.
That's right. He came in last week. He was 5 of 17. He was full of emotion. Adrenaline was pumping. And it was a good learning experience for him. All young men have to go through it in his first real test of college football. And that experience is going to help him somewhere in the season, though, because at some point, Steve Walsh either going to get banged up with an injury, have some kind of problem. Craig Erickson is going to be called upon in a critical situation.
All right, right now, let's take a look at some of the action in the first half. This will be the Kearns Hurricanes' 4th touchdown. That is the handoff to Cleveland.
World Championship belts. Plus, there's the stars of tomorrow in local and regional elimination bouts. So you won't want to miss any of the flying kicks of karate action. FFKA Full Contact Karate.
I have a feeling we'll see a lot of people playing in the second half. But that is up to Jimmy Johnson. And that's great. We're ready to go into the minutes. I find that a lot of good as it's been all Hurricanes so far in the football game. Skip Weeks will drop back deep for the University of Missouri. The game completely dominating action in the first half. Missouri had one opportunity to score and gave the football away. Here we go in the second half. High kick with the wind behind it. Big at the goal line. We'll bring it up. 5 to the 10. To the 15 and dive forward to about the 20-yard line, perhaps the 19. And helping make the tackle for the University of Miami, Herbert James, that defensive back by six. Well, Herbert James in on the
stop. James, a young man from Southridge High School right here in Miami, a freshman. Leach goes to the sidelines. And the Tigers will start play from their own 20. Fitzmaurice in at quarterback. Gives the ball off as they try the left side, and no gain at all. Elmore on the carry. Bill Hawkins makes the stop for the University of Miami. Miami with Hawkins and Mark at the defensive ends. Curry and Maryland in the middle of the defensive line. Second down and 8 for the Tigers. The ball at their own 22-yard line. Fitzmaurice working out of the wishbone. Takes the snap from center Curtis Wilkins. Again, they keep the ball on the ground. This time it is Tommy Stowers carrying straight up the middle and powers his way out for about a 6-yard gain. Bernard Clark from Lido High in Tampa makes the tackle, and we'll take another look at young Mr. Stowers with the football, Jim Mendich.
That's the wishbone right there. Stowers, some good individual effort. Notice even with a score 38-0, the Hurricanes have their first unit defense in, but I understand the first group is only going to play this first series, and then we'll see the substitutions you mentioned, Frank.
Stowers, 7 carries for 20 yards. Third down and about a yard to go for the Tigers. Big play right here for him. They're going to try to start something going here, and he does not get his first down. Yes, he does get his first down. So he brings it out across the 35.
Well, that would take you out, Frank. That was the fullback on the dive that the Hurricanes jumped on. That left a big hole for Brad Fitzmaurice on the triple option.
Let's look at it again, as he does make the ball very well.
Everybody jumps on Stowers on the fullback dive. There's a big hole there for Brad Fitzmaurice as he elects to run the ball upfield and not pitch it to the tailback.
So they do get the first down. I jumped on Stowers along with most of the Hurricanes that time.
That's classic wishbone football.
So they stay in the wishbone offensive formation. And this time it is carried straight up the middle by Tommy Stowers, a junior from Kansas City. He runs into Bernard Clark and Rod Carter, the defensive secondary for the University of Miami. Miami leading 38-0. We're early in the second half. Stowers, as we mentioned earlier in the football game, a big lad at 6'3", 216 pounds. Would you say he'd never been thrown for a loss, or only 5 yards loss in his entire career?
Hasn't lost a yard this year, and he's gained over 1,000 yards in his career and lost only 5.
Boy, that is quite a record right there. Fitzmaurice throwing down the middle, and it is complete to number 89. It was intended for Tim Bruton.
He was ruled out of bounds. There's Bruton limping off the field, too. Trying to get the ball into his big tight end. They fake it out of the wishbone. Holds the Miami linebackers. There's Bruton running a little bow-out pattern. He goes up high. He catches it, but he comes down on that ankle. He's knocked out of bounds. There's the referee ruling it incomplete. But Bruton's now in the middle of the field, and I can't tell if he has a cramp or if he's got a sprained ankle.
So there's a timeout on the field. We'll be right back on Sports Channel Florida. Miami leading 38-0. October, Sports Channel Florida Spotlight shines on professional hockey, college football, and Pompano harness racing. We're your ticket to exclusive coverage as the National Hockey League debuts this month on Sports Channel. We'll bring you the league's top teams and the game's best players as they battle for hockey's most coveted jewel, the Stanley Cup. You can't beat college football in October, and Sports Channel Florida's got it. Catch the Gators as they tangle with the tough Southeastern Conference in their quest for the league crown. And the Hurricanes continue their march toward another national title with some pivotal independent showdowns. Sports Channel will also bring you live coverage of Southwest Conference football. The Trotters return to Sports Channel from the winter capital of harness racing, Pompano Park. You'll see replays of every race as some of the sport's finest horses and drivers compete. In October, the spotlight is on Sports Channel Florida, standard equipment for the Florida sports fan. Rutan has been helped to the sidelines. He actually goes the last few steps under his own power as we come back to action here with Miami leading 38-0. Third down and 8 yards to go for the Tigers. The ball at the Missouri 37-yard line. Fitzmaurice rolling out to his right, being chased, now throws, and incomplete. Incomplete. So the Tigers will be forced to kick the football, and that time it was Greg Mark putting the pressure on him from his left defensive end position.
He's untouched right there. Watch the pressure Mark puts on. They love that 3rd and 8 situation where they can pin back their ears and get after it. Greg Mark, Bill Hawker.
So there's the kick. Darrell Spencer settling under it. Takes it just shy of the 25 and is spun down at the 26-yard line. 2-yard return by Darrell Spencer. And making the tackle, Darrell Bryant. So Darrell meets Darrell. And the Canes put the ball in play, 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line. Chris Walsh will be in at quarterback. He'll have Cleveland Gary as one of his setbacks. Dawkins splits out to the left side, so does Hill. And Walsh back to pass on 1st down. Sends one out to Darrell Hill. Catches it at the 35, retreats inside the 35, and is knocked down by Pat Ray. How sweet it is to be number 1. Well, that gentleman right there in that picture was number 1 in the minds of many in the entertainment world for many, many, many years.
Here we see Walsh. Got Randall Thrill-Hill on the O-cut. Gets it out there. Nice play on 1st down. +8.
Pat Ray makes the tackle. 2nd and 2. Walsh now 12 out of 17 for 196 yards. And the line moves on both sides. We'll see who they blow it against. Whistle blows as Sullivan was one of those moving. And Sullivan did move, so it will be illegal procedure against the Canes, moving the ball back inside their 30-yard line. 2nd down and 7. Canes leading 38-0. And that was the halftime score. Now we have 10 minutes and 35 seconds left to play in the 3rd quarter here at the Orange Bowl in Miami. The rain that came down rather heavily during the band performance at halftime has again stopped. Stiff breeze blowing out of the east from the open end of this stadium. Walsh back to pass again. Throws one over the middle, complete to Cleveland Gary. Gary at the 40 and goes across the 40 to the 42-yard line before he is dragged down by Pat Ray.
Cleveland Gary is so versatile. Watch him delay coming out of the backfield. He's reading the linebackers. You see the middle linebacker dropping off. That's when he runs his route. Connolly jumps in there, gets a good block. They both do a good job of blocking for one another. Cleveland Gary, the most productive offensive player for the Hurricanes.
Hill splits wide out to the right side at the top of your screen. And the ball carrier, Leonard Connolly. Connolly on the ground out to the 44-yard line. Leonard Connolly is knocked down by Meredith Johnson, a junior out of Louisville, Kentucky. Meredith Johnson, 6'2" and 280 pounds. And there again, Connolly giving away better than 100 pounds to the man who brought him down. I would have to say, Jim Mandich, though, that the Canes have done just about everything they wanted to do on offense today. Their short game has been good. Their long game has been good. They've utilized a lot of receivers, and the blocking has been outstanding.
They have dominated in every phase of the game in the first half, offensively, special teams, on defense.
Grips right this time for the Canes. Walsh back. Connolly stays back to protect him. Throws it down the middle. No good. Almost intercepted. Could just have been about picked off there by Adrian Jones. The pass was intended for Thrill Hill.
I think Steve Walsh makes a bad decision on this one. He has Daryl Dawkins wide open in the flat. Walsh kind of zeroes in on Thrill Hill, tries to force it when he didn't have to. You can see three Missouri defenders converging on the ball there.
That time Walsh had Hill in mind all the way, never looked any other way. Jim Mandich, he was looking for Hill all the way.
He was locked in, the radar was in, and I think the Missouri defenders saw that as well.
Now out of the shotgun for the first time this year. Walsh throws and completes to Hill. Hill in Missouri territory, brought down at the 49-yard line of the Tigers. First time we've seen the Canes go to the shotgun this year. Colon is the tackler. Harry Colon for Missouri.
There's Walsh. The cornerback is blitzing number 23. That's a bit unconventional. Walsh is able to get it off, though. There's Randall Thrill Hill making the big catch. He should have got upfield, though. He's running sideways and backwards, and that brings up this fourth down situation.
And what about that block thrown out in front of him by Cleveland Gary, but he did not take advantage of it. Now the handoff to Gary. Gary gets to the 45, and that's about it. They may give him the 44-yard line. Darren McDonald from Ellisville, Missouri, a 193-pound linebacker, hanging on to him along with Adrian Jones. Cleveland Gary leads the Canes in rushing, receiving, and scoring. How's that for an all-around versatile football player?
Not much of a surprise on that call. Everybody in the ballpark knew Cleveland Gary was going to get it. They continue to run on the left side of Miami offensive line, the right side of the Mizzou defense.
Dawkins splits out wide to the left side. And Walsh hands off to Conley. Conley spins his way to the 35-yard line. Leonard Conley. A.J. Miller hanging
on. It's a turnover. Conley laid it on the ground, and referee says, first down, Missouri.
There again, Conley, who had taken quite a bit of heat for his fumbleitis, turns another one over. Running hard, though.
High formation. Huge hole there, but in his effort to get extra yardage there, it comes. No question there was a turnover there. Little altercation going on in the field right now. There's Coach Woody getting his players off the field.
So the Canes turn it over to the Tigers. Darling and Adrian Jones walking off shoulder to shoulder. Reeves in on the tackle that time, in on the play, helping cause that fumble. Brian Reeves from Overland Park, Kansas. Third turnover for the Canes. And again, that word turnover haunting the University of Miami, Jim.
Absolutely. You know, I think I figured out what's wrong with the Missouri defense, Frank. They're starting a Sharon, they're starting a Darling, and they're starting a Meredith. How can guys like that, with names like that, play football?
We've got a new quarterback in there for the Missouri Tigers. And the results are just the same as Charles Quint, or rather Jim White, carries the football.
Put him down.
Corey Welch in at quarterback, and Kenny Berry making the stop on number 39, Jim White. Jim, 5'11" sophomore from Independence, Missouri. Stowers is in there at his fullback spot. And number 13, Corey Welch, the quarterback. Welch from Kansas City, Kansas, Wyandotte High School. Fumble, drop the ball, battle for it. In there fighting for the Canes and coming out of the pack with it is number 63, Jimmy Jones. Jimmy Jones came out of the pack with the football. Canes say it's our football, but so far the officials have not made the official sign. There was a penalty marker down also on the play, illegal procedure, charge to Missouri. And with the Canes taking over the football, a slight injury there to Bill Hawkins helped off the field. We'll be back right after this timeout on Sports Channel Florida.
They're articulate.
The team stank. There's no question.
I think it stunk, but
no,
they didn't smell well.
Stunk.
They never interrupt.
Let me ask the question before you start giving me answers. He reminds me of a doctor who finds cures for which there is no disease.
They're inquisitive.
Do you think you've ever written an article about an athlete who you thought was a homosexual?
And they're back. Seen exclusively on Sports Channel.
Hi, everybody. I'm Fran Healy. Every week on the Pin and Chase, you'll see some heavy hitting, incredible catches, and great pitching. For a complete roundup of all the action from around the leagues, join me for the Pin and Chase right here on Sports Channel.
10 for the Canes. Missouri's first turnover. Miami leading 38-0, and Walsh is back to pass. Pumps once, throwing deep downfield for Dawkins. He's got him. Touchdown, Canes. And no penalty markers are down. Adrian Jones beaten again defensively. This time it is Darryl Dawkins who pulls it in for the touchdown. Wide receiver out of Vero Beach High School.
Well, I think they're going to start calling Adrian Jones toast. He's been burned so many times this afternoon. This is the third touchdown going over his head. He's got some nose trouble, and there's Darryl Dawkins raking it in, going over the goal line, pumping his fist. Walsh gives it a little pump, and I think that's what Adrian Jones bid on. Look how wide open he is. The long game has been just about perfect. Huerta for the extra point, and the flag is down as the kick is up and good even after the fumble. Sandifer having trouble taking the snap back from center. But a penalty marker is down. Missouri was offsides, and the kick is good. So, again, there's a timeout with Miami leading Missouri by a score of 45-0. And again, Jim Mandich, we see Adrian Jones beaten down the right side, this time by Darryl Dawkins. Miami has been so effective over the years in those sudden change situations. They got the turnover, and Jimmy Johnson likes to go for the big play after a turnover to really capitalize on it, and they were able to do it on that touchdown to Dawkins.
I'll tell you something else who'd like to do that in just a moment. Right now, though, a little Hurricane history. Who was the last Hurricane to return a kickoff for a touchdown? And when did he do it? What Hurricane had the... Well, also, what Hurricane had the last 100-yard rushing game? So let's go for that one. What Hurricane had the last 100-yard rushing game? It's a trick question. So think about it just a little bit, and we'll have the answer for you in a moment or two. Edgar Bennis ready to kick off for the Canes, who now lead by a score of 45-0. Good foot in the ball, wind behind it, and that'll be down. No, he's going to try to run it out. Leach is going to try to run it out, gets it out to the 12, 13-yard line, and is hit hard and knocked down very hard over on the far side of the field by number 60, Anthony Hamlet. Hamlet, downfield in a hurry. All right, here's the answer to the last 100-yard rushing game. I told you it was a trick question. Now, if you said Leonard Conley, you were right. If you said Melvin Bratton, you were right. If you said Warren Williams, you were right. All three of them went over 100 yards on October 24th, 1987 against Cincinnati. And yes, Miami did win that football game 48-10. Nothing there for the Tigers. Elmore, the ball carrier. Russell Maryland on the tackle for the University of Miami. Hurricanes leading 45-0, better than halfway through the third quarter. We have 6:20 left to go in the third quarter here at the Orange Bowl. Smiley Elmore, I love that name, Smiley. I wonder if he does. He's not smiling too much right now, but he's one heck of a football player.
What he wouldn't offer isn't smiling.
No, nobody on the Missouri side of the field is smiling at the moment. And Welch, the quarterback, is smeared. Corey Welch knocked down hard by Russell Maryland, the big defensive tackle from Whitney Young High School in Chicago. At 6'2", 272, he was all over Corey Welch. And there again, Welch giving away about 100 pounds. He's
Butch Davis
192.
giving the hand signals into the middle.
Miami has gained 103 yards rushing, Missouri 26. 3rd and 11 for Missouri. Welch still has it. Cuts upfield. Shy of the 20-yard line. He is well short of a first down. Willis Pegues in on Welch. Pegues not too happy, Jim Mandich, about what he feels was a demotion this past week.
No question, he was demoted. Number 58, Willis Pegues, real fine, talented young football player. But Dave Wannstedt and the defensive coaches felt they had to get more out of that defensive left-end position, and thus moved Greg Mark outside and put Willis Pegues down on the bench. He is not too happy.
Mikowski's kick taken at the 42-yard line and driven back still on his feet and finally knocked down inside the 30-yard line is Darrell Spencer.
Little yellow flag right down on the 50-yard line. I think the Hurricanes are going to be assessed a penalty for blocking below the waist more quickly.
That much scrambling on a punt situation, it's awfully hard not to catch somebody on an infraction. I think very often the officials will sort of turn their heads the other way, and sometimes, though, just the opposite. They will start looking very closely for an infraction. They will discuss the situation and let us know.
Well, in that second defensive series, we saw the Hurricanes substitute freely. And now we see, as the Miami offense comes on the field, that their second unit is going to go on the field as well on offense.
The illegal use of the hands that I caught. The officials are Buddy Ward, the referee, the umpire Tommy Rose, the linesman Dick Taylor. Field judge is Dan Bloom, the line judge is Ken Houck, and the side judge Dick Clark. The back judge is Artie Paul. Erickson at quarterback for the Canes. The penalty is was against the Missouri Tigers, bringing the ball out to the Cane 46-yard line, where Miami will put it in play. Bobby Garcia will be over the ball at center, a junior from Cooper City High School, 6'3", 253 pounds, normally a guard, but moved to center when Holder came up injured a couple of weeks ago. Erickson giving to Conley. Conley finds a bit of a hole, advances to the 50, and a flag goes down. A.J. Miller put Conley on the deck, and a penalty down on the playing field. Penalty will be against the Hurricanes.
That's on the line, Judge. He's looking right down the line. We see the flag come up from the top of the screen, to the left of the screen. They march off 10 yards against the Hurricanes, nullifying a pretty good individual effort and good game by Leonard Conley.
So it's holding. Moving the ball back to the 37-yard line. Miami has been penalized 3 times for 20 yards. Missouri once for 15. Come the Canes, 1st and 20. The ball on the 37-yard line. The Canes leading 45-0 here in the 3rd quarter. They keep the ball on the ground. That is Conley to the 39. And spun down there by Brian Reeves, a junior linebacker from Overland Park, Kansas. They got a little bit of a wave started here in the Orange Bowl. But I think it's going to fizzle out.
Perhaps if there were a few more fans than 40,654, they'd be able to do a little bit better job on the wave.
46.04, is that is 46.54, okay. Second and 17 for the University of Miami. Erickson back to pass, throwing down the middle, almost intercepted. That should have been intercepted by the middle linebacker, Darren McDonald. He had that ball in his hands and could not hang on to it. That's a pass that really should not have been thrown, or certainly not in that area. And we'll look at it again, Jim Mandich.
Well, this is a bad read by Erickson. We can see the middle linebacker, Darryl McDonald, just sitting in his zone. Erickson looks like he's throwing it right to him. But like most linebackers, he's got a pair of bricks on the end of his arm and bats the ball down to the ground. Should have been an interception for Missouri.
It'll be 3rd and 17. Two receivers out to the right side, Hill to the left side. Walsh now on quarterback. Well, he's going to keep it himself. Starts Erickson. Keeping the ball himself and crosses the 50-yard line, chased out of bounds by Charles Murphy. It looked like it might have been a quarterback draw, but no, it was a pass play that he called and could not find the receiver, or certainly could not find who he wanted.
Blitz is on. A.J. Miller coming from the top. You can see Erickson shrugged the blitz, scrambling, trying to get to the first down, but it brings up this 4th and 6.
Tim Kalal in the punt, I believe, for the first time in the football game. It will be Kalal's first punt of the football game, and Missouri calls a timeout. Missouri had 12 men on the football field. So a timeout charge to the Tigers, and with Miami leading 45-0, we'll be right back on Sports Channel Florida.
Hungry for some hockey? Thursday, Sports Channel premieres with a double dose of top hockey hits. First, those feisty New Jersey Devils battle arch-rival Philadelphia. Then, you heard all about the trade. Now, see Wayne Gretzky in his first game as a King when Los Angeles collides with Steve Yzerman and the Detroit Red Wing Express. An opening night doubleheader, live beginning at 7:30 p.m. exclusively on Sports Channel, the network of the National Hockey League. Thursday.
Sports Channel Florida is your ticket to the most University of Florida events. During the year, you'll see all the action of Gator football, basketball, and baseball. Plus, Sports Channel will bring you the best of Gator swimming, tennis, and gymnastics. Coverage you can't see anywhere else. You won't want to miss any of the exciting Gator action on Sports Channel Florida. Standard equipment for the Florida sports fan. We invite you to join Sports Channel Florida for Miami Hurricane football on Sunday, October 23rd at 7 p.m. when the Hurricanes face the Cincinnati Bearcats. Catch all the action right here on Sports Channel Florida. Standard equipment for the Florida sports fan. And now Corral will be in there to punt. There's Erickson on the bench. Tim Corral punting for the first time, and Missouri so confused a moment ago they had to take a timeout because of 12 men on the field. Nice punt, wind behind it. They signal a fair catch as I believe they still had 12 men out there, and a flag has been thrown as Craig Lammers let the football go, and it went way through the end zone. So again, Missouri, even taking a timeout, they still came back out with 12 men on the football field. That's a pretty good situation if you can get by with it, Jim Mandich. Wouldn't you like to play a 12-man team all the time?
Yeah, but it's one that the referees seldom let get by.
They frown upon it. They certainly do.
That's pretty sloppy football by the Missouri Tigers.
It really is.
Excuse for that.
That's disorganization, I would have to think.
And here comes the Hurricanes offense back on the field.
Well, we'll see what they bring
down.
Let me ask you something, Jim. We got just a lull in our football game. You're from Cleveland, right? You're a hockey fan? Do you like hockey?
I love hockey.
Ice
absolutely.
Hockey?
No question.
You're going to get a chance to watch a lot of ice hockey this year, right down here in Florida. Because
that's what I understand.
Sports Channel Florida is going to carry the National Hockey League. We'll have a few dates and times for you, but you'll see it only on Sports Channel Florida. We'll tell you more about it as we go along. Erickson gives up the middle to Connolly. Connolly to the 30-yard line. Or rather, Alex Johnson, I beg your pardon. Alex Johnson, the ball carrier. So Johnson tackled by Johnson. Lee Johnson made the stop on Alex Johnson. Alex is from Narana Lakes, Florida, and Homestead High School. Lee Johnson from Florissant, Missouri. Erickson at quarterback. Gives again to Johnson. They keep the ball on the ground, and he goes inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. Alex Johnson, just a sophomore, 5'9", 170 pounds. And we'll look at this last play again.
Give the credit to the offensive line. Look at this hole again. There's the middle linebacker, McDonald, tied up. Johnson, good cut, struggling for the extra yards. He brings good talent as a backup for the Hurricanes.
Hill split out to the left side. Out of the I formation. And the pitch out again to Johnson. Crowell leading the interference for him, and Johnson moves the ball to about the 18-yard line. A gain of perhaps 2. Steve Vandergrift, the defensive left end, making the tackle for the University of Missouri. The Hurricanes are leading by a score of 45-0. We have minute 30 left to go in the third quarter, and there is Vandergrift. He's a big kid at 6'5", 277 pounds. They grow him big in Grandview, Missouri, and that's where he's from. Andre Brown splits out to the left side. Erickson, a lot of time, throws, touchdown, Andre Brown. Pat Ray beaten that time. The right cornerback, and Andre Brown pulls it in for the touchdown. Second touchdown pass thrown by Craig Erickson.
Good read by Erickson, throws it right in there. You mentioned Pat Ray, too big a cushion down in the green zone right there. Andre Brown on the slat pattern. It's time to high five in the end zone.
Not only the second touchdown pass thrown by Erickson, his second touchdown pass to Andre Brown.
You can see the strength of Erickson's arm right there. He gunned it in there where he had to. There's just a narrow seam when you get tightened down on the goal line.
51-0 with Weta trying to make it 52. And he does make it 52. So the Hurricanes in a complete rout of the Tigers from Missouri now lead by a score of 52-0, and we still have a little better than 1 minute left to play in the third quarter. And who would have thought it? Who would have thought the Hurricanes would just completely outclass the University of Missouri this much, even though they were heavy favorites coming in? Wow, that is some score, 52-0.
Incredible. Total domination. That's why the Hurricanes are the #1 team in the country.
There again, we're going to see some people whose names we don't get a chance to call too often. Looking ahead for the Hurricanes, next week is a week off. And then comes, Jim Mandich, a very, very big game. Anytime you go to South Bend, Indiana to take on the Golden Domers, you've got your hands full.
They are a fine football team. Lou Holtz really turned that program around at Notre Dame. They're ranked #5 in the country, and they've been talking about Miami since prior to the season. They've got a lot of great rivalries, but they've got a bone to pick with the Hurricanes. The Hurricanes have embarrassed them in recent years, and they're going to come out fire and brimstone when the Hurricanes invade South Bend.
Bennis kicks it off, and that is Leach who lets it bounce through the end zone. I'll tell you, that's a little dangerous play right there. If that ball had taken a reverse bounce and stayed in the end zone, it is still a free football. 12 plays, 53 yards, 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Climaxed by Craig Erickson, 17-yard pass to Andre Brown. Andre Brown has shown me something as a receiver, Jim Mandich. He has a knack of getting himself open. And the Ibis is in his glory. The Tigers are not. Welch, the quarterback. And I tell you, just about the time they get that ball handed off, the Hurricanes are all over them. Among them, then, Chris Hall tried to carry the football. Willis Pegues leading the Hurricane attack in there, along with Jimmy Jones. Also, and Coach Woody Widenhopper, not a happy gentleman right now, the head coach. That is Welch keeping on the option. Looked for somebody to shovel it off to. Found nobody. Kept it himself and brought it out to the 32-yard line. Curly Brown in on the tackle for the University of Miami. Curly Brown. Curly is from Merritt Island High School. Just a freshman. 6'1", 190-pounder. Defensive back. Also getting a good look at Willis Pegues in there defensively on the left side of the Miami line. Now Welch keeps it again, finds a bit of a hole, now flips outside and down the near sideline. Number 27 carrying the football is Sean Moore. Driven out of bounds inside the University of Miami 35-yard line. Maurice Crum ran him down. Sean Moore driven out.
This is a beautiful look at the option right here. Make the fullback dive, fake the pitch, turn it upfield, does Corey Welch, and then pitches it late. And the tailback is able to add on another 20 yards. That's a picture-perfect play on how to run the triple option.
So 1st and 10 for the Tigers. And that time, Moore carrying, gets absolutely nothing. Sean Moore, the ball carrier. Jimmy Jones in on the tackle for the University of Miami. So with the Hurricanes leading by a score of 52-0, there's a timeout as the third quarter comes to an end, and we'll be back for the fourth period right after this on Sports Channel Florida.
On the outside, Thunder's Image and Azarel Ticulero. They are in the lane. They'll have to go some to catch Blitz and Elmhurst. And now Pete Rand urging him on. Thunder's Image the outside. They're running out of ground. And Blitz and Elmhurst turning in an awesome performance. It's Blitz and Elmhurst in 1:53 flat, equaling the all-time fastest mile ever at Pompano Park.
Racing from Pompano Park, only on Sports Channel Florida. For an inside look at one of America's most remarkable sports teams, join Sports Channel Florida for Dallas Cowboys Weekly. Hosted by Cowboys President and GM Tex Schramm, this unique magazine-style show tells the story behind the Cowboys' success and the people who bring the Cowboys alive. From the players to the coaches to the scouts, Cowboys Weekly deals with much more than just the game. Catch it each week on Sports Channel Florida, standard equipment for the Florida sports fan. It's just what Florida's been waiting for. The NBA has arrived, and Sports Channel Florida has teamed up with the Miami Heat for the excitement of 41 games you can't see anywhere else. Follow the Heat on Sports Channel as they take on the NBA's brightest stars like Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, and Magic Johnson. Don't get left out in the cold. It's Miami Heat basketball coming this fall on Sports Channel Florida. Standard equipment for the Florida sports fan. The National Hockey League a little while ago. You'll find it exclusively in this Florida area right here on Sports Channel Florida, Florida's only coverage of the National Hockey League. We'll sort of warm you up on opening night, October 6th at 7:30, when the New Jersey Devils, with Sean Burke in the lead, take on the Philadelphia Flyers. Now we're back to the first play of the fourth quarter, and Welch dragged down from behind by number 58, Willis Pegues. The Tigers unable to get anything going against this swarming Miami defense. I said we're going to warm you up with that game between the Devils and the Flyers, because then just a little bit later on in the season, exclusive coverage of the Wayne Gretzky story. That's been one of the big sports stories of the hockey off-season, I certainly think. Wayne Gretzky and his trade from Edmonton to Los Angeles. Second play of the fourth quarter. Welch on the keeper again, spins away from one tackler, still has the football, and being chased and finally tripped up by Matt Britton. Matt Britton getting an opportunity to play out of Columbus High School here in Miami. Matt, a big freshman at 6'3", 2 1/4.
Well, we see Welch, he's scrambling. He shakes a tackle by Shane Curry here. Shakes another tackle. Great individual effort. You can see he's got a great future as an option quarterback in Missouri. He is nifty in the open field. Nice play.
He shook that one tackle by Eric Miller, but Matt Britton ran him down and shoestraightened him. So it'll be 4th and 3 for the University of Missouri out of the shotgun, and Welsh is dragged down for a loss, and that time it's Jimmy Jones. Jimmy Jones, probably, Jim Mandich, has as much ability as anybody on this University of Miami football team. He's been hurt just a bit this year, but now coming back strong this afternoon. Missouri 97 total yards, Miami 480 total yards. Missouri only 19 passing, 78 rushing, while the Canes have 346 passing, 134 rushing yards. Complete domination by the University of Miami, leading 52-0. Craig Erickson passing left side, incomplete. Pass intended for Dawson. Or rather Dawkins, Dale Dawkins. You know, we're talking about Gretzky a moment ago, Jim Mandich, and the big story, Gretzky going from Edmonton to the Los Angeles Kings. I think the big story, one of the big stories follow up to that is what is Edmonton going to do without Wayne Gretzky?
Well, there's no question. Los Angeles mortgaged their future. They sent some great players and some draft choices. It's going to be one of those trades that may work out very well for both sides.
This time, they pitch out to Johnson, and Alex out to near the 35-yard line. Well, you'll get a chance to follow all that drama and action of the National Hockey League only on Sports Channel Florida. Let's see.
There's a great Miami booster walking the stands. One of those maniacs that gets the fans all worked up. See him in each and every ball game here at the Orange Bowl.
Erickson has had an opportunity to play a lot of football this evening. He brings them up again on 3rd and 5. Dawkins to the right side, and Erickson calls time. So with a timeout on the field, the score 52-0 Miami's favor. We'll take this timeout on Sports Channel Florida.
Gretzky.
And they score with 2 seconds left.
Lemieux. Burke.
Shot, save, Burke.
LaFontaine. Deneen.
Fires in front, they score!
Hextall. Savard. Every hit, every shot, every save. The NHL's brightest stars shine on Sports Channel, the network of the National Hockey League.
This was the scene last January when the Miami Hurricanes became the nation's #1 college football team. This year, Sports Channel Florida follows the Canes and their quest to repeat as national champions. During the year, Sports Channel also brings you coverage of Canes basketball, baseball, tennis, and track and field. Remember, nobody brings you more University of Miami events than Sports Channel Florida. Standard equipment for the Florida sports fan. Well, with Miami leading 52-0 over Missouri, Sports Channel Florida expands its college football schedule with live coverage of the Southwest Conference. Tune in Saturday, October 8th at 1 p.m. when the Arkansas Razorbacks take on the Texas Tech Red Raiders right here on Sports Channel Florida. Standard equipment for the Florida sports fan. Erickson, the quarterback for the Hurricanes. I was talking about Gretzky. You'll see him playing for the L.A. Kings on the second game of our doubleheader Thursday, October 6th, 10:30, when the Kings face the Detroit Red Wings live from Los Angeles. 3rd and 5 for the Canes. Erickson, short drop, throwing left. Pee Wee Smith. And he has the first down. Boy, he knew right where that marker was, didn't he, Jim Mandich? Pee Wee Smith. Just right there to the first down marker, caught it and stepped out.
Flips it on. Erickson's got the one-on-one on the left side. Pee Wee makes a nice catch. Knows exactly where the yardage marker is. Steps out of bounds. First down, Miami.
Pee Wee came a long way to play at the University of Miami. He's out of Santa Monica Junior College. Makes his home in Compton, California. Dawkins wide out to the right side. They keep the ball on the ground, and this time it is Shannon Crowell carrying the midfield. Crowell driven out by Murphy, Charles Murphy. And he's a local lad from Hollywood Hills High School here in Hollywood, Florida. Shannon Crowell from Mays High in Atlanta. 5 carries for 29 yards. Mays High in Atlanta. I wonder if that was named for Willie Mays or whether there's another famous Mays up there they named that high school for.
Got me on that one, Frank.
They keep the ball on the ground, and there's some yardage gained by Shannon Crowell going straight up the middle. Shannon just stuck his head down, tried to run over the middle linebacker, Walters, and moves the ball across the 45-yard line into about the 44-yard line of Missouri. Leon and Bethel in on the offensive line for the Miami Hurricanes, as Jimmy Johnson has a chance to use a lot of players in this football game. You never know down the line when that experience is going to come in handy. 2nd and 3 for the Canes, leading 52-0 over the Tigers of Mizzou. Johnson carrying to the left side, and it looks like he might have the first down, very close to it if he doesn't, as he is driven out of bounds in the vicinity of the 40-yard line by Brian Reeves. It will be a first down for the Canes. As this time, number 21, Alex Johnson, is the ball carrier. Yes, Jim.
Good, tough running there by Alex Johnson. Turned it upfield. Always like to see those shoulders parallel to the goal line.
Canes leading 52-0, 10:42 left to play in the football game. Dawkins, or rather Pee Wee Smith, wide out to the right side. They keep the ball on the ground. That is Alex Johnson carrying to the 30-yard line. Alex Johnson picked up 9. It'll be 2nd down and a yard for the Canes. Off week next weekend for the University of Miami, and then on to South Bend to play Notre Dame in what could be one of the real big games of the season for both teams. Erickson dropping straight back. Good protection. Throws incomplete. Intended for Johnson, almost intercepted, but trapped over there by Pat Ray, the defensive back. Ball hit the ground.
Here's Erickson. He's reading the coverage. He's got a zone that he's going against. You can see the linebackers dropping there. Throws a little behind. Not a very good throw by Erickson on that play. Johnson unable to reel it in with one hand.
3rd and 1 at the 30-yard line. Let's see what young Mr. Erickson calls on this one. 6'2" sophomore from Cardinal Newman High in Atlantis. Looks like they want to run the football, and they do try to run it, and up over the top goes Shannon Crowell, and I don't know whether he made it or not. He was met there and pushed backwards. It'll depend on how far they feel his forward motion carried. One of those up there blocking for him was Luis Cristobal on the offensive line for Miami, and the Canes did not make it. That'll bring up a 4th down and 1. And we'll look at it once again and see him stacked up here.
Good surge by the entire front for the Missouri Tigers. He never really gets launched, does Crowell, on that play. Consequently comes up a half a yard short.
27-yard attempt for Carlos Huerta. He's hit from the 34, missed from the 47. This time the kick is up, and it is good! Kicking into the wind, Carlos Huerta puts it through the uprights. 55-0 Miami leads. 9:10 left to go in the football game. We'll be back to the Orange Bowl right after this on Sports Channel Florida.
Pride, dedication, and love explain Miami's success. Quality education and research depend on that kind of motivation from faculty, students, and alumni.
It is a challenge going here, and it should be. The most important thing this university has to offer is the total experience of living, studying, and working in South Florida.
The University of Miami, one of the finest private universities in the United States.
The Hurricane Club is the fundraising arm of the athletic department.
It's a great way to keep in touch with the university and to know what's going on in all the sports.
We've had 2 national championships, and I think we've all Hurricane Club members are a little bit a part of that.
With you and only with you can we continue to field the type of program that will be national champions.
Well, time again for a little Hurricane history. What Hurricane holds the school season record for the most receptions? What Hurricane holds the school season record for the most receptions? You know, Jim?
I believe it's Willie Smith, fine tight end.
Well, I would have said, I would have said Michael Irvin. But we'll see whether you're right or not. I think you are. The answer is Willie Smith, 1984, 66 receptions.
He was a real fine tight end for the Hurricanes.
I really would have thought Michael Irvin, but anyway. Venice ready to kick off, and here we go again. Kicking into the wind. And almost a little mix-up there as Skip Leach takes the kickoff, tries to find running room to the right, and is brought down at the 28-yard line. Skip Leach ran into one of his own men and then was brought down about the 28. The nation's elite since 1983 to the present time. Miami 55-9. Best winning percentage. Nebraska then 53-11. Oklahoma 52-10. Auburn 50-12. And Brigham Young 54-14. How about that?
And later on this year, on December 3rd, we will have the Brigham Young ball game right here on Sports Channel. You know, I'm sure a lot of our friends around the country are going to see that score posted 55-0, Miami beating Missouri, and they're going to say, there goes Jimmy Johnson running up the score again, Frank. But you know, with 6 minutes left in the first half, he inserted Craig Erickson in the second unit.
He certainly did, and they've got people playing out there now that I'm not sure about. Roland Smith is one of the defensive backs on the near side. Hurley Brown on a defensive back position. Welch carrying the football for Missouri, tucks it in, goes across the 35, and is knocked down at about the 37-yard line. Cortez Kennedy in on the tackle, aided by Kevin Harris. Welch has taken a bit of a beating out there.
He is very elusive. I can see why Woody Widenhofer has him in the ball game, because he's going to be his quarterback of the future. Watch how nifty he is in the open field here, making a miss. Good first down play, but anytime the quarterback is loose in the open field, he's fair game.
He takes some punishment. Gives up this time as they keep the ball on the ground, and really they're not making much of a dent as Moore, the ball carrier, tries to get through the Miami defensive line and cannot. That time Harris came up in the secondary to make the stop. Kevin Harris, a linebacker. Sean Moore, number 27, has seen a lot of action. Number 73, you saw there on your screen. Bax, Carl Bax from St. Charles, offensive guard. And Welch still has it, swinging out wide to the right. Gets into Miami. No, he does not get into Miami territory. He's brought down just short of the first down, I believe, over on the far side of the football field. Brett, one of the tacklers, along with Smith.
Our viewers have a chance to do the triple option. There's option one, the dive to the fullback. Option two is the quarterback keep, and that's what he does. He elects not to pitch the ball. A solid gain on first down, 9 yards.
Roland Smith get on the tackle. So it'll be 2nd and 1. Miami leading by a score of 55-0. Missouri trying to avert the shutout, working out of the wishbone. And the ball carrier is Charles Quint. Charles Quint, a freshman from Marshall, Missouri, who operates behind Smiley Elmore as the right halfback. Miller, one of the players in there for the University of Miami. That is Eric Miller. He get down to this stage of the football game, like I said, you see a lot of people you never saw before. Ron Pointer splits wide out to the right side for Missouri. Welch back to pass on the option, now throws it, and it is complete to number 29, Charles Quint. His right halfback for the first down. Britton there to make the stop for Miami. Britton along with Charles Farms in on the defensive play.
I'm impressed by Corey Welsh. He looks like the quarterback of the future. He makes McGee miss. He throws the ball into the flat, and they get the first down on that third down in possession.
Corey Welch, as I mentioned, just a freshman from Kansas City's Wyandotte High School in Kansas City, Kansas, I might add. And now the pitch out, delayed pitch out. Not fooled at all on the Canes. Not fooled at all on that one. Richard Newville. Not fooled at all as he smashed Smiley Elmore down for the loss.
He pitches a little too early. They never got Newville in a bind. He was able to read it all the way. He makes a great individual tackle for a 5-yard loss. Newville has been working very hard in practice each and every week. Defensive coordinator Dave Wanstead sings his praises weekly.
Second and 15 for the Missouri Tigers. The ball at their own 48-yard line, tossed right over the middle, incomplete. That was intended for Tim Bruton, the tight end.
It'll be third and 15.
It'll be third down and 15. Miami leading 55-0 over Missouri. Well, it's hard to believe the hockey season starts. This coming, what did I say, Thursday? Wow. Missouri only 25 yards passing, while Miami has 351 with Walsh and Erickson. Corey Welch. Back to pass, being chased by Jimmy Jones, gets away, throws, and it is complete. It is complete to Bruton. Tim Bruton. It is spelled B-R-U-T-O-N and pronounced Bruton.
The Hurricanes have the blitz on. Again, it's a great individual effort of Corey Welsh that makes this play. He's able to scramble away. He looks back at the tight end, dragging across the field. He finds Bruton, makes the catch. But the Hurricanes put a lot of hats on Bruton. They make him pay the price.
First and 10, the ball at the 31 of the Hurricanes. Canes are leading. Missouri has not scored. They stay on the ground, and they're not going to get much driving the ball into the middle like that. Britton Harris in there to stop the ball carrier, Chris Hall. Operating behind Tommy Stowers at fullback. Chris is a freshman. You look down these players for Missouri, Jim Mandich, a lot of freshmen and sophomores, a lot of players of the future. Welch, back, looking, being chased, and being sacked back at the 42-yard line. Eric Miller, freshman from Palm Beach Gardens High School, in to sack the quarterback, Corey Welch.
Well, they didn't let him get away this time. Eric Miller makes a fine play. Look at him play off the blocker, doesn't leave his feet. Very good. Good footwork. Gets the sack. That's the thrill for any defensive lineman.
Now it's quarterback, Brad Fitzmaurice.
So now we have another quarterback, Brad Fitzmaurice, back in. Brad Fitzmaurice at quarterback for Missouri, number 17. Dropping straight back. Being hassled and dropped. And again, Jimmy Jones is in. Will be credited with that sack. Jimmy Jones. Well, he was hurt early in the year, and then they said he did not practice up to expectations, but this afternoon we've called his number a lot of times, Jim Mandich.
Fine work. He was double-teamed there, no less, but Fitzmaurice, good job by the secondary. That was really a secondary sack because he wasn't able to identify a receiver open, and the lineman then had an opportunity to break down the pass protection.
4th and 27, Jimmy Mikowski in to kick to Darrell Spencer. Gets it at his own 40. Kicks the ball high. Fair catch called for by Spencer at the 15. Timeout on the field. We'll be right back on Sports Channel Florida.
where can you find Wayne Gretzky in his first game as a Los Angeles King?
Oh, did he roof that baby?
Where will you see the Edmonton Oilers take aim on their 5th Stanley Cup?
Shoots just wide. The rebound is bagged in.
Where will Mario Lemieux attempt to rewrite NHL history?
Thick handling, shooting, he scores!
With more games than ever before, nobody delivers the speed, action, and excitement of the NHL like Sports Channel, the network of the National Hockey League.
Hello, everybody. I'm Carl Foster. Join me each week right here on your favorite station for Inside World Tennis, the weekly fast-paced magazine talk show all about the world of tennis, both on and off the court. Every week, we cover the world of tennis, both professional and amateur, from tennis fashions to sports medicine, instructional tips with Spike Gurney, as well as our Pro of the Week and our Junior and Senior Player of the Week. It's all on Inside World Tennis each week right here on your favorite station. Don't miss it.
The Canes led 38-0 at halftime. They're leading 55-0 now, using a lot of people off the bench here in the second half. And they'll put the ball in play at their own 15-yard line. Erickson, the quarterback, and the penalty marker is thrown. The illegal procedure charged the Canes will move the ball back to the 10-yard line. And it'll be first out and 15 yards to go. The most points by a Miami team in a shutout was 62 against Havana in 1928. I didn't know we played Havana in 1928. I don't remember too much about that ball game. 62-0, huh? And knocked down at about the 13-yard line, number 31, Fred Highsmith, cousin of Alonso's. Fred Highsmith getting some action here as Jimmy Johnson goes to his bench. And really, you were so right, Jim Mandich, when you said folks around the country say Johnson's running up the score. Really not so. You can't tell these kids not to play when you've taught them how to play all that time. Doyle Aronin is a wide receiver. And carrying straight up the middle, that is Highsmith again. And he is swarmed under at the 15-yard line.
You're right, Frank. Jimmy Johnson could put the substitutions in, but he can't tell those young people not to play hard.
No.
And they work hard. They play in the toilet bowl. They are the blocking dummies for the guys each and every week. And when they get their opportunity, like they do this afternoon, they want to excel.
Mike Pigsa in at a tight end. Darrell Spencer is a wide receiver to the right side. There's Spencer, the kick returner, in there as a wide receiver. As Erickson looks over the defense, calls his signals, checks something off there at the line, and draws a flag. Perhaps too much time this time. We'll see. Nope, illegal procedure again. That'll make it move the ball back to the 12-yard line. And it'll be third and, let's see, call it 14 yards to go. Third and 14. Darrell Spencer splits wide out to the right side. Keep the ball on the ground, carrying straight up the middle out to the 15-yard line is Tracy Waiters, reserve fullback for the Hurricanes. Tracy Waiters. There's a young man, Tracy Waiters, a senior from Bradenton's Manatee High School, 5'11", 227. Probably has had his name misspelled many times as Walters instead of Waiters. No way they ever misspelled Mandich, though, was there?
No way. Absolutely.
You got their attention. M-A-N-D-I-T-C-H. I had to do it to you.
I knew you were going to give me the hook on that.
Sorry about that. Tim Corral, as the crowd counts it down, he will not get the kick away. The ball game is over. As Jimmy Johnson heads to the locker room with his still undefeated Miami Hurricanes, we'll be back to talk about this, the Hurricanes' 36th consecutive regular season win. Final score, Miami 55, the University of Missouri nothing. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Do big department stores leave you lonely? At Kaufman and Roberts, our knowledgeable salespeople will give you as much or as little help as you want. And if you have any problems, we'll give you quick factory service or a replacement guaranteed. An 18 cubic foot GE refrigerator freezer on sale now for only $434.
I'm about to turn your TV set into a Sylvania Super Set. Now you have computer on-screen tuning to control tint, brightness, color. Control bass. Sorry. 125-channel captioning, plus you can control your VCR with the same remote control. With the same remote control. That's a Super Set. It's simple. It's Sylvania.
Sylvania products available at all Standard Brands locations.
Well, back at the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida, I'm Frank Messer with Jim Mandich. And Jim, when a team wins a football game by a score of 55-0, I guess you can go back and reach around and come up with 1,001 highlights, both offensively and defensively. But just to wrap it all up, the Canes just did everything right in this ball game.
No question. They dominated every phase of the game here this afternoon at the Orange Bowl, offensively, defensively, special teams. But the difference from a week ago in the win over Wisconsin, today they brought a lot of emotion to the ballpark. They were flying around, making big hits on defense, the ball carriers not going down on one-on-one tackles, battling for extra yards, and that was the difference.
All right, as I said, you can go back and look at 100 or more highlights, but let's just pick out the last touchdown. Craig Erickson's pass to Andre Brown in the fourth quarter. Erickson getting a lot of playing time. He looks left, looks down the middle, sees Andre Brown, and really rifles that ball to him. And Andre takes it into the end zone, standing up.
Too big a cushion there by the cornerback for the Missouri team, especially down in the green zone. You get it closed down, you've got to get a little tighter on the receivers, and Erickson was able to drill it in there.
And we'll take a look at some final say. You know, one thing I liked about that pass, that showed off that shotgun arm of Erickson. I mean, just a real rifle arm. Yards passing, 179 for the Canes, 91 for Missouri. Only 44 yards rushing for the Tigers, 44 yards passing, 351 yards passing for Miami. The Canes rushed for 179, a total of 530 yards against a team that was noted for having a pretty good defense coming into this football game.
They did have a good defense, but they're a gambling defense again, and I think a lot of those touchdown passes are attributable to one-on-one coverage that the Hurricane quarterbacks were able to take advantage of and make the big plays.
And they picked on the left side defensively for Missouri. That is the side manned by Mr. Adrian Jones. Well, in just a moment, Jimmy Johnson's Game Day will continue with Jim Mandich. But first, please, this time out on Sports Channel Florida.
Hungry for some hockey? Thursday, Sports Channel premieres with a double dose of top hockey hits. First, those feisty New Jersey Devils battle arch-rival Philadelphia. Then, you heard all about the trade. Now, see Wayne Gretzky in his first game as a King when Los Angeles collides with Steve Yzerman and the Detroit Red Wing Express. An opening night doubleheader, live beginning at 7:30 p.m. exclusively on Sports Channel, the network of the National Hockey League. Thursday.
On the outside, Thunder's image, and that's the Real Ticulero. They are in the lane. They'll have to go some to catch Blitz and Almahurst. And now Pete Rand urging him on. Thunder's image, the outside. They're running out of ground. And Blitz and Almahurst turning in an awesome performance. It's Blitz and Almahurst in 1:53 flat, equaling the all-time fastest mile ever at Pompano Park.
Racing from Pompano Park, only on Sports Channel Florida.
They're articulate.
The team stank. There's no question.
I think it stunk, but
no,
they didn't smell well.
Stunk.
They never interrupt.
Let me ask the question before you start giving me answers. He reminds me of a doctor who finds cures for which there is no disease.
Very inquisitive.
Do you think you've ever written an article about an athlete who you thought was a homosexual?
And they're back. Seen exclusively on Sports Channel.
And the final score, the University of Miami 55 and the Missouri Tigers nothing. Jimmy Johnson's game day continues. Coach, 55-0. The difference from last week, a great deal of emotion by your ball club coming out of the locker room.
Well, you know, Jim, the team really focused in this week. They prepared themselves well. We corrected some of the mistakes that we made against Wisconsin, and we didn't turn the ball over like we did a week ago. The other thing is we did get the production out of the kick return game, and when we played the backup players, some in the second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter, they performed. And so the game experience from a week ago and correcting the mistakes allowed them to perform better today.
And the game stats tell a heck of a story. 530 yards total offense on offense, great balance, 280 rushing, 350 passing. You've got to be pleased with that.
Well, you know, I was really happy the way we moved the football. You know, we were really sharp. The wide receivers were more a part of the game, and of course, with their coverages, you know, they left some holes in the zone coverage, and then they did play some man-to-man. You know, we've got some talented receivers. They're just young. They've got to learn. They've got to get better, and they've done that. They had a good day today, and of course, Steve and Craig, you know, they were putting the ball on the money, and our offensive line did an excellent job of protecting the passer.
And on defense, you got the shutout. That's the big thing, and allowed only 135 total yards. Your defense continues to dominate each and every week.
Well, they played extremely well. I got upset at one of the secondary supports when we had the backup players in. They got a long run on the option play. We had a breakdown there. But other than that one breakdown, the defense really did a good job. Couldn't ask for anything more from them.
And next week, or excuse me, 2 weeks henceforth, it's the Notre Dame Golden Domers, and they've been pointing for you for some time. I know it's a little premature to start talking about it, but that's a big game in your season.
Well, without question. Of course, Notre Dame points for us every year here, it seems like the last couple of years. And that will be a big game for us to go up to South Bend. We've only won up at South Bend one time in University of Miami's history. They have a very talented football team. Now, this next week, we'll work on correcting the mistakes, and then we'll focus in on Notre Dame toward the end of the week.
Very good. Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
And that wraps it up from the Orange Bowl as the University of Miami wins 55-0.
Our next University of Miami football game will be Sunday, October 23rd at 7 p.m. when the Hurricanes take on the Bearcats of the University of Cincinnati. The executive producer for tonight's game has been Jeff Gempner. Tonight's game has been produced and directed by Harlan Singer. Remote facilities provided by Telfax. I'm Frank Messer saying so long for Jim Mandich. Once again, the final score, the University of Miami 55, the University of Missouri nothing. The preceding has been an exclusive Sports Channel Florida presentation.